Take care, guys.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock, couple hours left on busy day. Lots more headlines coming across. If you missed that last one on the Twitter Elon saga, looks like they're stuck on the debt financing. So Elon coming out this time saying the deal's contingent upon him securing financing, and that was not part of the agreement, apparently, according to Twitter. So that's a look at how the market stands right now. 0.42 for the S&P to the downside, 0.6 for the Dow, about break even for the NASDAQ, trying to get back into positive territory. We're red here in Toronto this afternoon, 1.2 to the downside for the TSX, 0.87 for crude oil right now, positive down here for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That is the S&P 500 currently. Again, energy standing out to the upside, consumer discretionary names standing out to the upside here, providing a little bit of lift this afternoon. Little communications group back to the upside as well. Netflix having a pretty good day. EA, Take-Two on here, Warner Brothers as well, some of the streaming names back in positive territory. RCL, Win then, NCLH, all higher. Reversing early weakness to get back to the upside as well. So after 2 or 3 days of significant declines, it is a little bit better on some of the travel names so far today. Real estate, utilities, healthcare, and financials, however, all downside at this point this afternoon. There are a few, obviously, here and there that are positive, but otherwise pretty red day for the S&P so far. This is the real estate group. Some of the little REITs popping up again this afternoon. SBAC, CCI, just to name a few, DLR, AMT. We'll touch on some of those maybe coming up. But all about tech once again this afternoon. Big tech trying to lead back to the upside after it was a bit of a choppy start for this group down here. Semiconductors green on the day. SEDG, the only one kind of lagging right now. IBM's red. Interesting enough, 2.8 with President Biden set to make a speech at IBM this afternoon. Not going to be anything specific about the company itself, but just more about chips in general. SDX and WDC were the notable decliners on the day so far. Let's get into a few things we were discussing. If you joined us in the pre-market this morning, it's been a very busy day. Still looking for more headlines coming across here as far as Tesla and Twitter are concerned. It's been a headline-filled afternoon, though, when it comes to some of the semiconductors as well. Again, President Biden set to make a speech this afternoon, in fact, at IBM, talking about more chip-related initiatives. Join us every day, though, at 8:30. We get you set for the open at 9:30 every day. Make sure you grab the watch list and then come join us in the pre-market. We'll get you set for all the opportunities that are setting up. Speaking of, we're going to get Sean in here. He's going to start things off this afternoon with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Here, gonna get my pen out of my pocket. Yeah, what's up, guys? Look, it's your Day Trade the World sponsored trade of the day. Make sure you hit that QR code below to start your trading venture today with Day Trade the World. Look, normally I have the sticky note, I throw it at the screen, I do little things like that, and I show it on here. But it was obvious. We had AMD written on our sticky note today. And the best part about today's trade of the day is it's learning from our mistakes, because AMD, we are red on this stock today, and I want to show you how I sort of misplayed this name. So first things first, though, let me show you why we like the 69 short, right? Here's the line right here, this blue line, that's the 69 short. And look at this, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 26th, the 27th, even back here yesterday, the 3rd, the 4th, there's the yesterday. So the point I'm getting at right here, key level, right? So we are playing short off that key level. Even if you go back to here, that's where we stopped on the bounce and opened up underneath. So we really, really wanted to short 69, and we brought that down, and we've been doing quite well on that number for a while here, shorting AMD. But look what happens today. So here's the 69 level right there. We try to stay away from stock in the first couple minutes, but unfortunately, AMD just really got going like crazy to the upside here today, right? So here goes AMD just rocking up. You're going to see me, there is a tick of me getting out right there. So we short, out, right? So that's not even where it gets that bad, because our first short starts at 68.50. Then we take a bunch of shares as we get closer to 69. There is a hidden little green wick in there where we get out. It breaks 69, we're out. But the problem is it pulls back a little bit. So I take the short again there. And then that was at like 69.20. Then we wind up getting out at about 69. 69.30, 69.40, so not that much of a problem. But look what happens here. Then it goes all the way up to 70, and I'm like, nah, it's not gonna go to 70, is it? We opened up down here at 67.50. Are we really gonna go up straight up 3,250 off the open? You're damn right we are. Boom, to the upside, short again and out, short again and out. So we have three horrible trades, really. Short at 69, short again here at 70, short again at 70 again, trying to protect that level. So it never works out for us, right? We take the 69 short, get blown out. We're like, nah, it's not gonna take 70. Take 70, blown out again before this happens, right? And then it just falls right back down. So it's like, disaster strikes, because if we just hold that all the way to 70.50, then yeah, that's really good, right? But you can't pat yourself, and this is why it's trade of the day. I can't be like, let's just say I held that and it fell all the way back. Am I a genius because I held it? No, I feel it's lucky. It takes out key levels, so we have to get out when that happens, right? Easy done, no problem. So as it falls back down here, then we start to do the same thing again. We start to think about a long against this pre-market level, right? So we take the long, we're able to get out a little bit. But look what happens in here. There's a bunch of jumbled down here. When we take down some of that low, we actually wind up going short, trying to think about, you know, if it's not gonna hold this 67.50 area, then we wanna go short to enjoy a downside move here. But guess what? That doesn't work out either. And so we're back and forth. The lesson to be learned in here, there's just a bunch of trades, short, 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 and out. The lesson to be learned in here is, why am I dealing with the stock when it's back in a range that I'm not confident in, right? So I don't know if we're gonna drop here or rip back up. But the good thing is, after we see a couple of those wick bottoms, then we get long and explode it back to the upside with our last out getting out at 69 right there. That was a key level. It doesn't make it all the way back up to 70 for us. So we take the long back down there at 68 or so, run it back up to the upside to 69. So this is a disaster. This is okay. And then the move back up, we're able to get back some of the profit that we lost right there. And in fact, although you're gonna see I'm short Microsoft right now, which is gonna be great because I can see the market coming back down, and I'm sure the NASDAQ is leading this to the downside. But the point about it, I see Neil nodding, so that's correct. It might be time to get more shares right here on AMD. We're gonna go look at the chart and see if we can do that again, but that's the trade of the day. The idea here is, I believed in the short, I tried it, and it didn't work. So sometimes you do the work, you put it out on the sticky note, the levels don't hold. The mistake again, trying it there, but then putting too much capital to work up here at 70. So it's your trade of the day, and it's AMD.
Chips back on the watch list this morning, as they've been pretty much all week long, with relative volume, relative strength coming into play once again. No real notable headlines, but got to be watching these with the volatility in the overall market. Make sure you grab that every single day, absolutely free for you in the pre-market. And then you come join us at 8:30. You can use the QR code there, or just hit that link and enter your email address. You can have that once again for free. I wanted to mention this quickly to start things off. There was a spike in Peloton shares, took out the day highs there on a huge volume spike. After this came out, this is a letter from the CEO of Peloton talking about the Wall Street Journal story that we discussed in depth this morning, where it kind of highlighted the fact that they have 6 months to live, or gave the impression, and even says in here, that the story kind of hinted at us having 6 months to live. He apologizes then in this story to the employees, and goes on to say that that is not the case, but he wanted it to be more worded along the lines of, the turnaround is complete and all efforts have been done and things are moving in the right direction. But instead, he's basically saying that the story was written in the tense that the company is dying a slow and painful death. So the CEO coming out there for Peloton. Let's talk some Tesla. Let's talk a little Twitter to kick things off if you missed it during the midday. What a move. Back to the upside initially, and then chopping around right now. 4 Twitter shares, we'll have a look at that. But this came out upgraded to BBB from BBB Plus from the S&P for Tesla shares. And then there's a whole bunch of additional headlines again for Twitter. The latest, if you missed it again, they're stuck on this financing, I guess, contingent upon financing line that has been added to this deal, according to Elon.
Yes, sir. Before we get into anything, I do have the Peloton long because I said I'd go long in a 9 break, and it did break 9, got to 920 or 917, and I reloaded here at 90s to get myself a bit of an average price. So look, I like it. I've been waiting around for it. That's kind of a weird story. Get it right. I don't know. Like I don't even want to get into like the whole write the story correctly in the first place. But Tesla, which we're talking about here, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about Twitter, not too much, starting to look pretty strong, but bouncing off VWAP a couple times. I had a couple of scalp longs after only shorting it pretty much all morning long. And if you look at it, it's a pretty nice upward trend. The question is, can it hold VWAP now? So I'm of that opinion that the market wants to test the bottoms at this point, despite the Peloton long. So I'm in RCL, which is stupid strong, and Meta to the short side right now. But overall, it does feel like the market wants to come down here. So if Tesla can hold VWAP against a falling market, that could be a sign of strength going into the afternoon. All I will say about Twitter is you can scalp short off even dollar levels if you have a stop, because if you have a stop at an even level, let's just say, then if news comes out, then you're going to get the stop out. So I might do that at 51 if you even see 51 again. But I think Tesla's going to be the one you want to trade out of those two, which we've been saying for a couple of days now.
We need that. We're still waiting for. We were going to have it today. I don't know if it's around or not, but that like and sort of subscribe little gift that we were talking about yesterday in our meeting. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys. We have a great guest coming through, trading psychologist at 2:45. So you're not going to get that for free. Well, you're going to get it for free.
You're about
from us,
to get it for free.
But definitely hit the like button. You're going to get it for free from us. Hit the like button. We'll hear what Intraday has to say there about trading psychology. And I even put a tweet out and said, yeah, if she deals with me, she's going to have her hands full. So let's see if she comes through.
I got some questions.
When she comes through. Yeah, should be a real fun time coming through on that. So join us now. Make sure you hit that like button. Over 4,000 people watching. I'll just hit this. There, that's like wake up, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you can. We now do have, I want to give a big shout out to Liz before I go on here, because there it is right there. New banner right here, 350K. So we got the K in there, we got 350, we're ready to rock and roll. We want to say a big thank you to everybody here as we go. Oh, I just hit 36,000 followers as well, so that's good. So that's a nice little number. That's the first time I'd seen that. I hate seeing like the 35.7K, but that's nice to see, so that's good, 36. All right, we're short Microsoft now, $1 in the money or 75 cents in the money. Let's go over to Twitter quickly. I've been saying this for couple days there, especially since he released the news, so just 2 days ago, that this deal is not over with. Was hoping that it would be resolved by now. Apparently the bank financing only has 2 more weeks left, so he's going to have to make up his mind there. He's going to have to renegotiate all that. And although the rates have come down in the last month or so, so when he made this first proposal back in April, rates were not where they are now. So that is going to hurt, which means you do see some action there on Tesla and so on and so forth, which Neil just covered. But I think you're going to just try to trade this and scalp it, right? We had Luis on this morning talking about the same type of stuff there. Just scalp the levels. Don't really wait for anything big to happen here on Twitter. I mean, I don't think anything major is going to come through, whether or not they go back to court. I think that day was set for the 17th, or was it the 7th? No,
17th.
Not the 17th, the 7th is tomorrow. So, they may get that back into court. If they can't get this all figured out, then, it's just going to keep on dragging on. I wouldn't go long or short this name right now. I'm still long from like 15 years ago, honestly, when this thing like IPO'd. It's been a disaster, considering where it is now, and you had to hold this thing for 8 or 9 years. But it's been an absolute disaster for Twitter shareholders. Elon's trying to save this, and when he does, it's going private anyways, right? So he's not going to be able to get too much there from us, the shareholders. You're just going to have to get out at 54.20. If you want to hold for that, great. I still think there's $4 of upside. I believe he'll settle it out. But again, that's not based on anything. So that's just my opinion, that you do have a little bit more of upside right here. And if you can get $4 over the next month or two, that would be 8%, right? $4 on 50. So that's not a horrible return. Or you could just trade I don't know, Netflix and get 8% in one day. But that's Twitter right there, $50. It doesn't really excite me too much.
I mentioned this CEO note from Peloton to start things off there. A few more people joining us if you miss it again. The CEO has come out with a response to this Wall Street Journal article that was released this morning, questioning these comments that he made regarding this whole 6-month timeline. He basically apologized to staff and said was not his intention to imply that the company has 6 months to live. essentially, and he wanted to more have it focus upon the fact that things are going in the right direction, and these efforts that they've made to turn around the company are actually starting to pay a few dividends. So there was a apology, I guess, issued from the CEO of Peloton this afternoon, which caused this spike that just happened before we came on there, guys.
Yeah, and in fairness, the stock was going up most of the day. If you just kind of discount the pre-market, when you had like the gap to the downside and you tested $8, most of the trend was the upside. I was here in the morning trying to short off of the highs, the previous highs at like 840. I was in at 835 and got stopped out at like 840 and change, trying to short that high. And since then, it's just been strong. I was waiting all morning long, essentially for what just happened, which was that $9 break. I did just reload in the 90s there and scalped some out when it got back above $9. So if it can't really hold this 885 area, I'll probably just get out. Not a ton of volume in that break. I feel like that's because the market just crapped on itself. So, you know, when you take a breakout and the market doesn't want to go with you, sometimes, you know, it can be short-lived. That's why I'm out of most of it as we speak, and sort of looking for shorts. I was kind of hoping we could go counter trend on this because it's got the short, small short interest there. I think 11 or 12%, something along those lines. And then maybe you had some shorts that are still trapped or shorts in front of the 9 that have been holding all day long. But the momentum's starting to die down from this. It feels like we're going to have another day where it's the larger cap names that are moving the markets. Moving for us, I should say. They're always moving the markets, but I mean moving for us in terms of trading opportunities.
Don't tell me you didn't get the "it's a trap" thing set up on your. What?
What the? Whoa, Lucas,
whoa,
man.
whoa,
That
whoa,
was
whoa.
the "it's a trap" button.
It's a trap, Neil. They trapped you.
That's
you
it.
you hit that
Come
one
on,
instead.
Lucas. No, it's all good.
Right now. Okay, look, I've been talking about. Okay, first of all, we're now $1 in the money on this Microsoft short that we just put on right now. So it's starting to get to the downside right here as Microsoft breaking through some of those levels. Next area of support down here, 247.23. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to put a bid right there, 247.30 or so. Push bid, push enter, move on to that, and just start to do some of this as we hop on that bear. That's not a trap. The bear is here today, right now, heading to the downside. You know what? The NASDAQ's only up 6% in 2 days. So, wouldn't be bad to give some of that back, especially when you're short. I cheer for that. So we'll see. And again, we get a lot of people asking us, like, it's so bad when we say, like, we're short of stock because it's not good for the economy and stuff like that. Look, we're day traders right now. And honestly, we have to be flat at the end of every single day. So being short something, we got to cover at 4 o'clock. So it's hard for that. Okay, so just my talk on Peloton was always been pretty simple, man. I think they get bought out. I think they get bought out relatively soon, and that's the only play. I don't, like, they introduced that rowing machine, the treadmill, all that. Those are just more reasons, like I said, to short them. But at the same time, I feel like their product is super solid. They have over 3 million subscribers. We showed that chart this morning when I talked about this. I just feel like for $2.5 billion, whatever their market cap is right now, there is a good potential here for someone to snag these guys up. There it is. We just tested it. It's a trap. It might be a trap if you're buying shares to get bought out. So that is true. But I like Peloton here. And the thing is, against that bottom, I don't think you can get that offside there. I mean, now we're up a lot, but I was using like a $7 bottom, not that 650 exactly. But if you use a $7 bottom, and it was a lot better when we were here at 8 yesterday. But anyways, up to 9 gives you a little bit of cover. It would still be about a 20% loss if we take that out, but I still like the name. I like Peloton here, and I think what they're doing is right, man. They build the environment, they build the ecosystem. Now they just got to hope that someone, sees some value in their subscriber growth and whatnot, and able to take them down. So it's funny, Brendan, because when we even talked about that this morning, I was like, I never heard of a 6-month timeline for them for anything before. So I am glad that he's come out there and sort of clarified that they at least have enough air under them to last a little more than 6 months, I would hope. But anyways, that's Peloton, and hey, there's the picture of that bike. High quality machine. Let's just see what happens here with the subscriber growth.
Is it though?
Numbers right across the board for the company anyways. Speaking of big numbers, here's Pinterest today having its best month or best day in a month to the upside today after Goldman Sachs comes out and upgrades the stock in the pre-market this morning, pointing to 25% possibility to the upside on increased user engagement and monetization efforts that are continuing. So a nice look. A lot of these charts looking very similar, though. Yeah, we gap up this morning, but it's kind of gone sideways ever since.
My earpiece just died. So Pinterest, and now it's saying Bluetooth connected, just died and came back.
Nice.
So Pinterest
It's a trap.
I know. Now I have to. There's something settings thing I have to do. But Pinterest, I liked it only. I was looking for longs because of the daily setup, and I think that's as long as it's above the 200. This is my sort of idea that it's trying to break out on the daily at this 26. So I took that 26 level, and as long as it's supporting there, I'm going to look for longs. It never got the dip buy at 25. So, the breakout, like this long into the highs didn't work, got stopped out when it got back below the 80. And when it tried to fill the gap, it just never came down to 25. So, the dip buy never came into play for me, and the initial long didn't work. When I look at it now, hindsight's always going to be 20/20. Like it'll look like a pop and fade setup, and of course it was. Like 26 ended up rejecting, but I was only looking in one direction. There's plenty of other shorts to be had in the overall market. I took a couple swings at it, and then just sort of said, okay, well, the original thesis, no good, and at no point did it hold above 26 for a re-entry, and at no point did it get to support. So I didn't diddle in the middle, and diddling in the middle would have won, but that's sort of the thing. Like you're going to get presented with opportunities where if I get into this long 30 cents early, certainly it's a great trade, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what I want to do in that situation. So I'll just take the L on Pinterest for today, and then I'm not here tomorrow. I was about to say come back in tomorrow, and if you get a chance to bounce off that 200 period, I'll take the trade, but I can look at that next week. I think the way that it's been trading on the daily, it has plenty of room to go. And in the back pocket of every single one of these breaks and sort of sitting in the long is that there has been some takeover chatter with Twitter. So there's always that little bank error in your favor. You could just happen to be sitting in it, and then it gets some big news. But the problem with that as a day trader is you might already have take profits out, so you just get sort of taken out all in one shot anyways. But yeah, I'll be on the bit of Pinterest in front of 25 as long as it wants to be there.
Yeah, Neil just talked about Pinterest there. Other than all those levels, I didn't look at it today. There's lots of interest, obviously, in the retail sector, and I think Pinterest serves a little bit of a purpose anyways, as far as pinning things. What you like, what you want. I don't have anything to say about Pinterest, to be honest with you. Do we have Amazon on that board? No, we don't. So I'm just going to talk about that. We just got another piece out on Amazon. Watch this bang, Lucas. See bang? And then it stays there. I don't know if that's supposed to stay there or not, but I like it right there anyways. So there we go, right there. We just got a piece out as it took back through VWAP. Another piece out of Amazon. We've been playing this one really like a fiddle again today. Short, short, short. All the purples are short, and all these nice little green things are outs, making purple flowers. Planting flowers on Amazon today here. Short, 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 out, out, out. Just playing off these highs of the morning, right? And so we're getting out of it now. We're pretty light on almost all of our positions. AMD, Amazon, and Microsoft. We have 3 positions right now. You can see them on the board. AMD's in the money 50 cents. Amazon's in the money 50 cents. And Microsoft's in the money 60 cents right now. We just tried to get a piece out of Microsoft right there, and we missed the bid because we were in the 30s. We were down here. So let's see if we want to reshort Microsoft. But if the NASDAQ takes out this 50 period, a different story. But Pinterest, look, great upgrade from Goldman Sachs. But as Neil just mentioned there, upgrades don't always mean that you're going to be going up the rest of the day. And in this fact, it's actually lower right now than where it was when we first brought you this story at 9:30. So really no movement at all from Pinterest, but definitely enjoying a nice little bump up 5% versus the market. So good day for Pinterest today, but unfortunately no real juice behind the move intraday.
Was the debut of a lot of new products from Google this morning. As we mentioned, the Pixel 7, the 7 Pro, the watch. There was a whole new line of Nest and home-related products that they came out with. Just to highlight a couple of things on this board as far as the launch event goes. The Pixel 7, if we could, Lucas. Thank you. Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, $599 and $899 respectively, versus everybody knows what an iPhone is. The Pixel Watch slated to go on sale October 13th for $350. I saw like the top of the line one was $399 if you get the one with more memory, I think it was. But a whole bunch of details anyways in this Made by Google event today at 10 a.m. Started very strong, but again, another one that's kind of chopping around now.
Yeah, and sort of in advance of that, at the open, there was a lot that sort of popped the top there, and I was just looking at 102, short of 102, it broke 102. And really, since then, like it's really just forming a bit of a wedge here. Like it's holding the bid, which is fine. Like I don't mind the fact that you're holding this 102 level. That's actually a good thing because I feel like if we break down and head toward the lows, I want to short it if we break down from here. I don't want to be sitting in the long because I kind of feel like the market's kind of weak pulling down in. That's why sitting in the long in front of it doesn't make a lot of sense. But there's certainly an ability to say, okay, you've got a pretty key support area. If it gets taken out, then I'll jump back into what the original thesis was, shorting beneath that 102. And if we can hold it, there's some breakouts, maybe some consolidation breaks at 102.5 if the market decides to test the highs. Feels like we're going to be going the other way. I don't know if we're going to, we're not really talking about some of the big tech. I decided to go with Meta. The reason I'm in Meta, probably pretty clear. Like Meta just simply retested the morning's high, close enough to that 142 anyways, that, we're right below it at that 141, testing that high again here and then rolling back over. So that was at resistance. It made some sense to me. And then I'm also in RCL, which, I don't think I'm telling anybody if you've been watching the market the last couple of days, you have an idea of how strong RCL has been. Just despite the fact that what happened with CCL. Like CCL came out with their earnings, RCL dropped $7 and 2 days later was right back and is now broken out higher now than it was when CCL reported, but it reversed at 45.50. It just feels like it's a little bit much, up 3.5%, so I did jump into the short here on RCL. Now it's beneath that 45. I'll play it back into 44. But Google, I might be into that. If the market flushes, I like the shorts beneath 102. I need to see some momentum to the downside in this market. Otherwise, I want to short key levels instead.
Yeah, I'm debating doing the same thing again here on Google. We only have one trade on it, so it's a positive name for me today here at Google. We bought this during the midday show. Everyone was asking what positions I had. There it was. We saw Google make a bottom at 101.75. We took it through the long at 101.85 or whatever that is, breaking through VWAP, and then just got them out basically at the same levels. It does go all the way up to 50, 60 there, but we just sort of scalped it out, which was pretty good because we got it out, here at the 50 period. So this is 30 cents, that's 40 cents, that's 50 cents right there. So basically we scalped the bottom of the range up to the top of the range. And then you could have been doing the same thing again right here. We were prepping different things, but you could see right now, I like this long again. If you come back in through here, let's see it come back in, test this area. Then if it holds, then we can almost make that same trade again and bust it through the long side. So yeah, I like these trades. I think it's working out pretty well for us here today on Google. Just one trade though, but looking to buy some more dips, in the space. And yeah, I feel like I wonder if it's anything in that article, Brendan, if those are the same prices as the 6 and whatnot, because I feel like it is the same pricing. So I know that Apple held the same pricing. So it's $8.99, I'm guessing, for like their Pro version, which would equate to, I think Apple's iPhone is like $12.90. I don't know what it is in the States, but I think it's like around $12.99. So feels like you're going to get a little bit of a discount there, which is why, I was a big fan of the Google products and still am. So I like that. And, good day for Google today, up against a negative market, but you never buy the news on a day when the news is coming out. So I don't think that there's a play for that reason. I'm just going to trade this technically and see what we do with Google right here. I think Neil might, or it's not that Neil's right, but I think I like that level right there at 102.20 or so for a downside move. So especially the market's now below the 50 period, and Google's one of the biggest, if not, it's not the biggest, but you know what I'm saying. It's number 3 in the NASDAQ as far as the weighting. So you're going to see Google come back. It might actually be number 2. I'm going to have to look that up. Right, I might have overtaken Microsoft because there's 2 of them. There's Google and Google, right? So you got to add those percentages up. But here it comes right back down. Let's see what Google does. I'm not going short until we break here, 101.70.
Yeah.
Checking out their website, you obviously can't buy the 6 anymore, just the 6A. But in Canada, guys, $11.79 for the Pro and $7.99 for the Pixel 7, which is the normal. Yeah. You come north of the. Is it the same? Yeah, okay.
Apple raised prices.
There's not much. The software is a little bit different, but there's not much as far as difference between the two. But anyways, let's move on. Let's talk chips here. There was a note, guys, from The Verge that just popped up there suggesting a new collab between Intel and AMD. There was no move really on either. Intel still notably weak here on the day versus the rest of the group, in fact, trying to get back to day lows.
Yeah, Intel, big news would be Intel getting business from NVIDIA.
Biden was at Global Foundry or IBM today, or supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's done. Is that done already? I don't know. But anyways, maybe some announcements coming for GFS and IBM. But what are we talking about? Chips? Chips bounce?
Chips.
Do they bounce? Give me a chip. Let's see if they bounce. Here,
I like chips.
If you eat too many chips, you don't bounce very well after that. But
I had one trade. I don't know. I know you're trading AMD.
I have a shit ton of trades.
I had the one in Nvidia. Well, it was two technically because I was in and out the second one in about, I'd say, a minute and a half. But it was just a break on Nvidia today at 133. I was just looking at the high. When it broke yesterday's top, what is that, wick? When it broke yesterday's top, that was 133 and a quarter. It played, I scalped some out for the first dollar, and then when it made that hook at 136, I just got out of Dodge. And every time I look at this, it's like you take one of these outs, if you make another run at the high of the day, it's like, man, like it's hindsight's 2020, obviously, but it's like, yeah, if I like getting out of the long, I mean, if you were, always ask yourself this question, if you were not in position, what would you do? Like when you're in the long, it's easy to say, hey man, you should take some profit or get out of the trade here. But if you were flat and you saw this, there's your short risking about 50 cents. I'm not saying that it comes all the way back down, but that actually was a pretty good short setup. I just wasn't looking for it in Nvidia. And now you're right back at 32s. I think I'd be waiting around for 131.5, maybe to bounce off of that low, because I went long at the 32 earlier, and that didn't work out for very long. So it was one trade for me. It was kind of like a one and done, and then I tried to get back in, and that was a waste of time. So Nvidia is pretty good on breakouts lately, so I'll probably go back to that well a few times the next couple of weeks, as long as it stays strong ahead of the next round of earnings. But for the afternoon, I'm not really seeing a heck of a lot with Nvidia unless we test the lows.
Oh man, I feel like ridiculous. I didn't even notice. Like, look at AMD, Nvidia. Like, this is right at these levels again. I don't know. I missed if that was true for your Nvidia chart there. But this is like, oh man, should have gone long there. So we're still long. I told you when we came back that we would try to still be long this name here. We got a piece out right there at 69 when it ripped up, and then it almost, I mean, I should have just got out right there. But again, we were done trading, and then I just sort of step away for a bit. It does go up to 69.70 there, then just comes right back down, and now is barcoding central. I wonder about it breaking this level. Oh man, that 68.25 is so cash money. Oh, I want that trade again. All right, I'm gonna put some bids now on this. I really like AMD. Look, for me today, it was a complete disaster. Flush ourselves down the toilet, slap this fail on there. What else can we do that makes it look bad? We'll just go dap it up, but not for me, for anybody that had opposite of my trades here. Short, and out, short, and out, before it absolutely fell down. And I saw someone in the chat that said they think I need larger stops, probably when you're looking at stuff like this, but so many times stop orders have saved me, so that's the whole point of looking back at your trades and making sure you analyze them. That's why I'm not hating on this trade. This is the market, man. If I'm gonna sit here and trade AMD, then I have to be well aware that this can happen and I can get my face ripped off before this is happening. AMD could easily, if this market was up 2% like it's been the last 3 days, then the AMD would be at like $72 or $73 right now. And then all of a sudden I would look like, a little smarter than I do right here. But we did get the long back in, and we took that to the long side. And in fact, we still have the long on right now. So if we're gonna look at this, if this comes back down here, which it's going to right now, I am going to buy some more 30s here against this 20. I probably started actually even sooner than that. What is this, 35? I'm just gonna put some bids right now on AMD, at this 35 level. I want the long here, and I'm not afraid to take it, obviously. So let's see if that comes through. There it is, 70 cents in the money right there. We'll take a little profit out on Microsoft. Microsoft comes all the way back in. We let it rip up. It fades back into this level again. So here's the short on Softy, 70 cents in the money. We'll take that, and we'll see if we can, bring Microsoft back in and then get that AMD long that we want, which is only pennies away right now.
Yeah, I'm about 50 cents away. I mean, like I said, Nvidia's close, but I'm not really there just yet. I'm gonna hit this, see what happens. See, now it works. Thank you. It's not a trap. It's wanted to see if it was working there. Timber on RCL back down below 44.80. So we just got the next breakdown. That continues to work to the downside. Going to get more out in front of VWAP. This was one. It's just the last couple of days. You saw in the afternoon yesterday. Essentially the same thing. It makes it high, puts in a wick off top, and then I'm shorting that move. I'm shorting the lower high as well. Same thing. But yesterday, take a 15-cent hit. Today it looks like it's headed right down into VWAP. Meta's working, and I just said we're 50 cents away on NVIDIA, and before I can even finish talking about another stock, I'm already long. Okay, so whatever. This market's coming to the downside pretty heavily there. But I was waiting around for these lows in the morning, which is 131.50. So that's right around where my stop is going to have to be. But you know what actually gave me a fill? Peloton bounced back up above 9, got to about 903, 904 again, and then reversed. So it doesn't seem like it wants to break that 9. And this is obviously like, now you have a breakout, wick top, and then lower highs. I just showed you me shorting RCL like that. So there will be no reloads for me on Peloton. And if we break this support right here, now it's at 890, yeah, let's just get out of Dodge on that one because it looks like the shorts are coming in. And Peloton, the scalping of that long might be done. If it breaks this, it's probably headed to VWAP.
Man, I need a trading psychologist to come through here. I mean, I wonder if we're going to have one. We having anyone come through here, Brendo, pretty soon? Oh, maybe in 10 minutes. Ooh, very nice. I like it. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty lame, but we are having one come through right there. Not by Brendan, by me, I think. All right, so we're going to see there in 10 minutes. Yeah, we're going to talk all about it. And the reason why I'm saying I might need some help, again, AMD, we go long, it breaks, we get out, then we just go long again, and then it goes back up. So I need to focus on, watching the levels, figuring out what exactly my stops are going to be. But now we are back into the long on AMD. So we did lose on our first long. I mean, I could tell you it was 13 cents. We wound up losing on that trade overall. So let's see if we can now bounce back up a little bit. I want to go long against 68 now. It just broke that level. The problem is we're below the 50 period now on the NASDAQ and just in the middle now, right? So I don't want to, okay. I was going to say, I don't want to get, I don't want to get caught, but now it's starting to go back up to the upside. So now you're going to see robot trader Sean just put out trades right there. And then we're going to hit the, because there it is, a nice little trade there on AMD. Just wish we held the initial position, but it's all good, baby, because it was all a dream, and we're reading it for real right now. Up to 68.42 for AMD. Let's see if we get to 50s.
That's why I was sort of waiting around. Sometimes you gotta, if you want the move, you got to be a little bit patient with it. Like, whatever, that candle was pretty sick that came to the downside because it snapped me up there, able to get it off of those lows. I said I didn't like 32s, and 131.5 is where it topped out or bottomed out here. Just grabbed 40 quick cents on AMD, NVIDIA. See, now you have me saying AMD on NVIDIA just there. But I'm holding on. I still think we're going to the downside more. So Meta just bounced twice off of 140. And, I'm going to move the offer. Yeah, Meta. Because this is actually pretty strong the more I look at it. Like, we're not really breaking down toward VWAP right now. And, you know what? Part of me saying I should just get out of Dodge, it looks pretty relatively strong here. It is in the money, so it's not a bad trade. But, overall, I think there might be better opportunities out there. I'm looking at that Google trade, Alphabet, I should say. That opportunity. It feels like if this is at VWAP, if it breaks down, like, look at the floor that breaks on Google. If you take out that 101.70. It's just relatively weaker compared to a Meta, and maybe I should just be focusing on that one to the short side and participate in the move instead of thinking that Meta's going to reverse course when it's been showing a little bit more strength. I might just get out of this one in front of 140. I'm kind of talking myself into it, given what I'm seeing happen over here. And I see a lot of people talking about Netflix. I took some shots at Netflix. This is me with way too tight of a stop on a breakout long on Netflix, and there's Netflix putting a wick top at $244, which is pretty impressive because one point this morning, this actually hit 233 again because that's not the first time it's hit it the last couple of days. I'm going to zoom out of my 15 minutes so you can see 250 is a monster level, but respect to 246 as well. If it does get up there without the market breaking, I'd be rather skeptical. The 250 short was pretty gold. I got out of it way too early when I had it and should have come right back into it the next day. But yeah, I'd be very cautious of sort of buying the highs into these levels if the market's still relatively weak. As I'm showing with RCL, even the strongest stock, when the market wants to roll over, if it gets up too high, it's going to start coming back, especially as people try to take profit.
All right. Yeah, look, I'm getting real excited, man. Our special guest of the day is coming through very, very soon. And, I could possibly be her best client at some point. So we're going to see how that works out. But we're really excited, to have it for you. And on that note, let's hit that like button, man. There's only 5,000 watching right now. And we just started. We don't ask for much, man. It's a completely free show. Oh, 611, not 911. We had that Porsche 911 come through right there. Hit the like button. Over 4,400 watching. We need to get to 1,000. Let's see. Justin, put the screen on here so I can show everybody here. Let's get that up to 1,000. I think we could do it in 1 minute is my bet for everybody. Let's see if we get that to 1,000. I'm going to check back in approximately 1 minute and see where we are. Thank you so much for everything. All right, Microsoft, now $1 in the money. So you know what? I think she's going to say don't hit these animations maybe because you can focus more on your trading. But there it is, Microsoft, $1 to the downside. Let's go softy, bring it home. We just got a bid down there off this short at 248. So we're using our technical analysis, man. Hit it, short, boom, build a plant, man. We're building a nice purple plant here down to the downside. There's the out right there. Into this resistance, right? So support. We have some support down here at 247. Let's see how low it can go now for Microsoft. We have to believe that this could happen, right? I mean, that's one of the big things for me here. And there goes AMD, yes, right back up into 30s again. And again, remember, this is like, we're only in the money 20 cents here, but you have to trade your own style and your own book. Do I think AMD has a chance to go back up? Yes, I do. What about 68.60 right here for AMD? We're probably going to scalp a little bit out. I only have half left of my long position down there, but I'm excited for this AMD trade, especially if the NASDAQ wants to bottom out right now. So here's the NASDAQ just at the bottom of its afternoon range. We'll see if it touches this 11,560 or not. If not, we could get a little bit of a flush and then a move back up to these highs. So let's wait to see. The NASDAQ right now only down 0.4. We know we're up 6% over the last 2 days. So I don't think it's unreasonable. All right, here we go. See, this is what I need help with right now. I see it starting to move up, and I'm like, I got to take some money out. But the point of what I was getting at is I could see the NASDAQ flushing a little bit here into the close to set up another possible long for tomorrow into Friday. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we're excited for the Blue Jays game tomorrow. Tomorrow on this show, it'll be Luka and Arun. So that should be
that's a first.
That's a first, and it should be a very, very interesting combo. So we're excited for that one. Yeah, that's the end of it for AMD and for Microsoft. We still have an Amazon trade that's 50 cents in the money, but we're letting that one sort of, stew a little bit.
Well, I want you guys, by the way, so everyone out there, just as a reminder, ask Luca, or in the chat, make sure you ask Luca about Tesla 250. That's my advice to you.
Yes,
Like, I know everyone's been talking about some of the things that happen. Like the traders are on the floor. Sometimes we chat about the opportunities that are out there, but you want to get that different perspective. So we had a good trade out there for that one. The market is headed back down. I don't know that I want to reload NVIDIA into this. Look, it's got a good support level, but I don't know if I want to do it. I just got out of that meta trade, so I'm out of meta in front of 140. I just feel like that one's worked, and I never got everything I wanted up at 141.5. And as we start to come down, and we're going to be wrong about this, but this consolidation break on Alphabet just feels like it'll be a better opportunity. So get out of meta, take the profit and run on that one, and then see if we can't hit the home run over here in Alphabet. The long in NVIDIA, like I said, not going to reload. I want to scalp some out. And then in RCL, I want to let this one ride down into VWAP. As a matter of fact, I don't want to bid out there. I don't want to, I don't want to be anchored to whatever the bid I have. I want to see this drop as the market tries to test some of those lows. The ES is outpacing, the S&P 500 is outpacing the NASDAQ, maybe slightly to the downside. But if we're going to test these lows, if we bounce off of it, then I want to allow that bounce to be the reason I'm getting out of RCL and not just sort of sit there and say, oh, yeah, well, there's a nice line in the chart. Let me just get out in front of VWAP or get out in front of that previous break. I'll let the market dictate how far I can hold this short in RCL. And somehow Peloton's holding up, right? As the market's coming down here, it would be easy to jump out of this trade. But you know what? It's holding my support level. So even though I'm pessimistic over the fact that it's going to go back to the highs, as long as it holds that support, I have no reason to get out of the trade. My stop is in place. I can kind of just sit back and allow it to work for me. Or not work. I mean, it's going to do whatever it's going to do.
Yeah, true. I just got some out there in the mid-range of this AMD. Again, little small profit. We are still going to wait for that high move. The 50 period's at 48. That's where we're sitting. If we get that fill, we get that fill. And then we'll see about another move to the upside. Let's just keep on looking for a few more names. We haven't looked at, so I did trade Tesla early today. And this one, I was really responsible, man. I mean, we wanted that 242 short. And again, thank you for all the love and support that you guys give to all of us on Twitter. But we have 27 retweets, 118 likes on today's sticky note. And today's sticky note, and again, this is just a note of my trade ideas, right? It's just trading ideas that we had here early. Tesla shorting that 242 level. We've been going short ever since it broke that 250. So right here today, just to go over some of the trades I had, there's the short 242. We cashed out a little bit. We went short again, then got taken out at 243. It never got as high It only got as high as 244.50. Right now you're kind of barcoding, but I think I'll take the short again around that 242 area if Tesla does come back to the north side as the market is trying to break below some of the levels right now. But without any further ado, it's guest of the day time with Brendo at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, we are super excited and happy to have for the first time on the show Creda Sheehy-Kelly, who is a high-performance psychologist and trading coach. That is her website. You can see on the front of the desk. Check that out, credaperformance.com, C-R-E-D-E, performance.com. We're going to have a discussion about a fascinating topic in general when it comes to anyone who has had any exposure to the market has dealt with their own psychology in some way, shape, or form. Creda, it's great to have you, first of all. Thanks for doing this. Welcome to the show. It's a fascinating topic that I think we can go on and on about, but just as an overview here, when we talk about high-performance psychology and how that applies to not only the market itself, but trading specifically, what do we mean by that?
So thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And you're right, I could talk about trading psychology all day. So I'll keep it focused. So really, when we're talking about the mindset of high performance and performance psychology in trading, we're talking about being able to actually make those effective decisions under pressure. So in trading, specifically day trading, there's a whole lot of pressure, and it's in very short time frames that you have to be so clear in your decision making. You have to be able to stick to your rules. So it's actually, the technical piece is arguably the easier piece because you learn it, you get good at it, it becomes a habit, and then it's actually managing yourself becomes the issue. So performance psychology is all about helping you to manage yourself and not just to fix mistakes or things that are going wrong in your trading when you're breaking your trading rules, but actually to raise you to the level of your true potential.
And I want to highlight the fact that this is an actual skill that traders need to be practicing and need to be learning, first of all, before we get too far into our trading careers. Let's talk about mindset here to kick things off because it's important. We discuss this even on the show from time to time, that when people are coming into the market and coming into this floor over here to my right on a daily basis, they have to be in the right mindset before they even approach the market. Tell us what you consider to be that correct mindset.
So I love that you've said that it's a skill because that's so true. It's, if it's not a skill that you have currently, you can learn to actually use all these techniques to help your trading. So the mindset that I would encourage traders to get into before they're coming into the market is to be really focused on the process. So one of the biggest mistakes in trading, or the biggest kind of ways that you can trip yourself up, is being over focused on the P&L. So, and that's, of course, most traders are very focused on the P&L, and if you want to make money in trading for sure. But when you're actually coming into the market and you're ready to, sit down and take your trades, you want to be so focused on the execution of your plan that you're nearly not even considering the P&L. And I know that might sound a bit strange, but so we work on that in terms of your mindset, like the mental side of things, but also getting into the right emotional state. So you want to be calm, composed, and you don't want to be in a state where your emotions can hijack your trading, because we all kind of know where that goes. So, fear of getting into trades, trading on tilt, all of that, that's all coming from an emotional space. So you want to get really physically, emotionally, and mentally aligned before you actually even start the trading day.
Creda, you made a great point. Let's be honest here. This all comes back to P&L. All of these fears, all of these problems, all of these issues that people tend to run into tends to be related to the fact that they're sitting there staring at their blotter, staring at that P&L number. What can traders do if they're new to the market, if they're new to trading in general? Give us one or two maybe very entry-level type of suggestions here that we can do on a daily basis to get away from that.
So the easiest, most straightforward thing you can do, and you can do this at a more detailed level, but I can give you an example. So if someone's just starting out, you could try this from the outset. So instead of having goals around the P&L in a kind of trade to trade or a day-to-day time frame, that you actually set goals that hold you accountable to the execution of your plan. So I'll make that concrete. So you would actually set a goal. Let's say you're someone who struggles with over trading. So you're jumping into trades that don't fit your A+ setup criteria because you're so afraid you're missing out, or for whatever reason you're being triggered. So if you actually set a goal that instead of it being around the P&L, if you set it to say that 90% or more of all the trades I take today fit my A+ setup criteria, and then you actually track that and hold yourself accountable to it, that's how you start shifting from this focus on the P&L to holding yourself accountable to the process. So that's the quickest tip I can give people. And that goal might change depending on what issue you're struggling with, but just choose one stat like that and track it day in, day out. It'll definitely help.
And the first key there is understanding, obviously, what is that setup and defining that setup. So many people want to come into the market and just, start smashing the keyboard and making lots of money, but it doesn't work like that. So a great point. Let's talk a little bit about mental edge and the fact that what we're doing here and what everyone out here on this floor is doing is very similar in the sense to a professional sport in a sense, or a professional athlete, because it's very much performance based. Talk a little bit about what that brings into the equation when we start putting that kind of amount of pressure on us daily.
So, and it's so true. So the link between sport and trading is, like, I actually started my career in sports psychology, working with professional athletes, and then transitioned into working with traders. So both domains are very similar. Like we said, you have to make quick decisions under pressure. You have to be able to withstand it. But what that pressure does is it really sorts out the winners from the losers, especially in sport, the winners from the runners up, because when you're at the highest level of performance, the technical pieces are usually in place. So, people have them down, but it's those tiny margins where, let's say you have a loss and you can't reset quickly under pressure. You carry that loss with you in your mind. Suddenly in the next trade, you're trying to trade yourself out of that loss that you made on the trade before, and that starts a spiral. So that's pressure. It's the pressure of suddenly feeling like your trading account is in a downward spiral, or the pressure of it can also cause you to be indecisive. So you start overanalyzing all the data that's in front of you, and then you can't actually execute your plan. So that happens in sport and it happens in trading. Pressure can actually change the way that we think and the efficiency of how we think. And, that's in sport, that can look like somebody getting so focused on the outcome of the game that they suddenly forget about making the accurate passes. In trading, it's the same. Maybe you get so paralyzed by trying to compute all of the data at once and you start doubting yourself so that you don't even take the trade when your setup appears.
I want to make sure we leave people with, a few tidbits that they can kind of take with them, and apply maybe on a daily basis. We touched on one common pitfall that traders get into, and that is that, overanalyzing and focusing solely on the number, the dollar amount on the screen. Let's talk a little bit about another one here that comes up a lot, and that is FOMO, or obviously the fear of missing out. And I think it ties into a lot of what you were just saying, in the sense that, over trading is a common mistake that new traders specifically get into, because there's a fear there that they're going to miss the trade. How, as traders, do we deal with FOMO?
So there's a couple of different ways to tackle that. And usually with anything in trading psychology, you can come at it from a few different angles. But with FOMO particularly, first you have to check your expectations. So often that appears when people are so impatient to make the money, to be successful, to reach that level of consistent profitability, that they're trying to take every opportunity possible, or they're doubting themselves and they're listening to, other trades in the chat room that other people are taking, and they're deviating from their own plan. So that's one thing, is I guess treating trading like a profession that actually does take years to get to the level where you can be making a full living from it, and not coming into trading with expectations that you're going to make quick money really fast and kind of skyrocket your career. So the expectations is really important, so that you're not putting that pressure on yourself to have to make big profits quickly. That will help. And then another piece of it, which is a much deeper topic, but I'll try and kind of speak at a lighter level here, is your emotions hijacking your trading. And so whenever a trader is deviating from their rules, and like you said, you have to have those rules in the first place. That's the first key part. But whenever you're deviating from your rules, it's actually usually your subconscious mind. So like scripts and beliefs that are running in your subconscious are taking over your trading. And I'll try to keep this light, but your subconscious mind rules 95% of your actions. So let me give you a concrete example. Let's say that you have a belief around achievement and self-worth. So I have to achieve in order to feel good about myself. So that's not something you'd consciously think about, but it's sitting there in your subconscious. So suddenly you're trading and you're trading for money, but you're also actually looking for all of these opportunities to validate yourself, to make yourself feel confident, make yourself feel good about yourself. That's going to really increase the likelihood of you engaging in FOMO or feeling FOMO and letting your emotions drive your trading. So actually going in and digging into what's sitting in your subconscious that's turning up in the market and sabotaging your trading is kind of something, if you want to make trading your career, you want to be really successful, it's kind of unavoidable. It's just a matter of when you actually want to tackle it.
It's not if it happens, it's when. You will be in that position. It's just a matter of how you end up handling it. One more, and then I want to bring in Neil and Sean here to get some questions as well. But there's a common problem that I find with a lot of people, a lot of traders, when you first start in the market, and that is over-analyzing or trying to solve a problem when there's not necessarily a problem there. Talk a little bit about how we can get past that over-analyzing issue of when a trade is not working. It's almost a need for some traders, it seems, to find the problem that's making it not work when it could just simply be that the trade doesn't work.
So do you mean in terms of people like switching from strategy to strategy, or yeah. So I think when people are doing that, again, it's this focus on the P&L and this need and pressure to be successful very quickly. Because really, for all of this, for trading psychology and for the technical piece of trading, it's about reading the data that's in front of you, amassing that and analyzing the data over time. So then you'll know if your strategy is profitable or not. But people have a tendency to, because they're impatient to see results, they won't actually stay the process with, giving, like back testing long enough to trust that strategy and to just realize that this was a losing trade, as opposed to something wrong with the strategy. Because it's easy to want to blame something outside of ourselves. But the only way we can tell if we're doing that or if it actually is a problem with our strategy is to collect the data over time that allows us to analyze that. So if you can get to a place where you've tested your strategy, under, say, a time frame of a couple of months, and you know that it absolutely is profitable if you executed it correctly every time. So that's not to say that every trade is a winning trade, but that over time, period of 3 months, you would turn up to be profitable. Then you know that if you're jumping from strategy to strategy, or you're blaming the strategy for the trade not working out, it's a psychology issue then. So it's about really reading the data and analyzing that, as opposed to in the moment just kind of blaming the trade and the strategy.
So much, Creator. I hope you understand, right now our chat is just absolutely loving everything that you're bestowing upon us right now.
Bestowing?
I know, I use a school word because I have to, I'm going to try to sound smart.
Try to impress the teacher here.
I am trying to impress the
I see what's happening now.
Actually, what I'm trying to do is get some free advice.
What's happening.
Because we're traders, we're live trading right now. And I think one of everyone talks about the different things like FOMO, revenge trading, whatnot. One of the big things I'm a big proponent of is it's very difficult to trade alone, but your personal demons are your personal demons. You're always battling with yourself. What do you think the role of mentors or fellow traders that you talk to? What would you suggest when it comes to having a dialogue with maybe a trader that you grow together, or maybe you have a mentor with? What types of things do you think you should be discussing with them? Is it the decision-making process? Is it your rules? Is it your emotional state? All of the above. Obviously, we get the opportunity, or your clients get the opportunity to talk to you, and that's valuable. But for others, where they might just have the person sitting next to them, what kind of conversations should those traders have?
That's such a good question. I've never had that question. So yeah, I think you have different mentors, coaches, and peers for different parts of your trading or for different needs. So one thing that's really important for your motivation to actually persist in the face of obstacles and this long trading journey to success is having peers that, you can share when things aren't going right. And then, you can actually say, look, this is happening for me. Is that happening for you as well? So just having that sort of peer support is really important. And it's actually really surprising the amount of traders who come to me with their challenges and they think that they're the only person in the world who's actually experiencing this. And for me, it's like I see it day in, day out. So I think reaching out to peers in that sense, and even having conversations about accountability. So if you've got a trading buddy, which is really useful for people, someone at your level trading the same instruments, and that you actually at the end of the day just check in and kind of hold each other accountable, that can be really useful. And then in terms of mentors, like you say, kind of really making sure that you've a solid trading plan in place, that you've got all these clear rules. So there's no room for subjectivity in the midst of the middle of a trade where you're suddenly left going, should I do this or should I do that? You want to be at a level where your rules and your plan are so well thought out that there is no room for that subjectivity. You know exactly what to do, and then it's just a matter of doing it. So with trading coaches on the technical side, that's absolutely what you'd want to get help with, is making sure that your plan is really solid. And then obviously with a trading psychologist, that's when you can dig into if your emotions are hijacking your trading, or even just if you want to build your mental edge, you're looking to take your trading to a higher level and you want to know the tools and techniques that are going to do that. So I think there are a couple of different conversations with different people, but I absolutely would advocate for traders not trading alone. I'll caveat that though and say that sometimes people can get pulled by what's happening in a chat room, and then they find that maybe if they don't listen to the chat room at a certain time in their trading, it helps, and then they tune in when they want that kind of support and camaraderie. So just kind of finding what works for you.
Creda, thank you for that response. Look, there's absolutely no way I can ask a better question than Neil, so I'm not even going to try. The only question I'm going to ask you is very, very simple. Everyone's really appreciative of you coming through here today. So I'm going to ask you one simple question. Will you come back?
I would love to come back. I could talk about this all day long, and you guys are great. So yeah, great questions.
Perfect, great. Thank you, Creda. We're throwing back to Brendan.
Thanks,
like we said, did we lose her? No. Wait for it. She'll come back. There she is.
Creda, can't get rid of me.
Again, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We really appreciate it. Everyone check out credaperformance.com, CREDE performance.com. Creda Sheehy Kelly is a high-performance psychologist and trading coach. We look forward to the next conversation. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Brandon. See you soon.
Take care.
Kaboom. I mean, there we go, man. That's what we're doing, man. We told you that we were going to bring high quality, and more quality. Thank you so much for that one. I think I had a great question. I think you had a great question. Brendan's questions were pretty good also, so thank you so much. I think Brendan just made a good idea there. It was hard, we're sitting here trading, listening to things, watching things. So if you guys are doing the same, I feel like it's a good idea. We can cut some of those questions out, post them up, I think so that we can rewatch, re-listen to some of that, because that's huge. And I want to ask her. I actually had a few other questions to ask there as well, but obviously we're into power hour right now with the market breaking lows. So let's, we'll get back to her and just thank you so much again. And part of that comes from you traders out there. You asked for a trading psychologist. We reached out, grabbed one, and there it is right there, Creda. Thank you so much for that. What's up, Brendo?
So a few things happened there, guys, when we were talking to Creda about Twitter. Musk lawyers offered billions off the transaction price. Musk actually turned that down because of the conditions that were attached to it. They have now filed the stay. If you remember yesterday, we were talking about the judge came out and said there's been no stay as far as the lawsuit is concerned, or a motion to stay the lawsuit. That has now been done. So the stay is in place or has been filed, so we'll wait for confirmation of that, and then it should be a done deal. But again, the stay of the lawsuit was that last headline, guys, that has now been filed.
I mean, I kind of want to be long off. I mean,
all right, next guest, lawyer.
Yeah.
We need somebody that's in securities law. I'm dead serious.
I would love to get. I'd love to get an M&A specialist.
Yeah, let's go, man. If you guys know, this is what we're doing, man. We're trying to be traders, producers, everything. Let's go. I mean, I think that'd be pretty important to get that, because I don't really know what that means. And then there you go. And I don't think the market knows what it means. And this is why we're staying the heck away from Twitter. Check the chart out right here, all the way down to 49.60 on that one, and then a boom right back up to 51.40. So and then ending right in the middle again. So you can see by this little mark on the side here where we're trading. So we're trading at 50.51 right now, right there. So let's wait to see. We're back in the middle here on Twitter. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but that looks to me like it's very uncertain in the minds of the Twitterverse as well, what that means. So we'll, not that what it means, how it's going to affect the stock and the stock price moving forward. So I'm not, I'm not convinced what we're looking at here. So let's just wait to see as I still hold on to this AMD long, Microsoft short, and Amazon short.
Okay, yeah. So what it is like, so there apparently the conditions were quote unquote self-serving,
right?
But that's why Musk would have turned down, because it's like, well, why would you say send this letter, you'll pay $54.20 and then reject taking billings off that price because he didn't like the conditions for it.
Yep.
So yeah, if it sounded a little bit more firm, then I would have been going for the long off 50s. But this just felt like the play I would make here would be just to short the pops and have a stop no matter what you do there. But you got to go to what's moving. The market just took out the bottoms. The only thing I don't like about this market taking out the bottoms was that Google stalled out. So that the 101.7 break definitely worked. We hit touchdown for that on the breakdown. We scalped some out 50s, then down to this 101 quarters. But you're consolidating and not really threatening the lows when the ES took out that bottom and the NASDAQ threatened as well. RCL, on the other hand, that just started churning. It hasn't gotten to VWAP. I did have a bid down here originally, but then I said, let's cancel it, allow the market to dictate. It is still holding around these lows. We're about $1 in the money here on that RCL. Well, it was $1 in the money. Now we're a little bit lower than that, or I guess higher than that because it is a short position. So it does feel like this one does want to work. If the market keeps trending down, I think we can bust VWAP here the way that this market seems to want to come to the downside. And Tesla, in all of that, like, look at the barcoding going on. First, holding 240s to 241s. It breaks VWAP. Now you're just sitting in a $1 churn. So, like, we're very range bound here. And Logan Flips just said weed is popping. Yeah, we had, now I forget off the top of my head. Now I'm forgetting who we get reporting. Brendan, if you can remind me who's reporting after market. I'm pretty sure we have one of the big names. It's Tilray reporting. That's who it is. I knew it's one of the big ones. So we get Tilray going to be reporting their earnings. That's going to be a big time mover. And do not sleep. I don't want to forget about the big, I think Sean's in the big dog. Yeah, he's in Microsoft there. Softy, it hit that 250. It rejected. I should have come right back to the well when it hit this 250 again. But this is still trending to the downside. If the big names start taking out these lows, it's going to get pretty ugly. That's why I'm holding on to Google, man. I definitely think it's going to be a good opportunity for the shorts, at least from what I see here. I know no one wants to see the market go down. Psychologically, it's not a good thing. I didn't want to get stopped out in NVIDIA either, although if I just held on to it, it's sort of right back toward that 130, 150. But I scalped out of it. For the small win, and then we took the hit, small hit on the rest of those shares. I think we're trending down at this point, so I want to look for those shorts to come in. And speaking of those opportunities, remember we said even if like the strongest names out there, the market comes down, there's Netflix, Wick top, right back in at 240. So the shorts are definitely coming in here.
All right, yeah, shorts are coming in. And meanwhile, when we're talking, we had a $2 winner there on Microsoft, and we didn't take it as I was debating it, taking out those lows. So now that we're coming in for Softy, let's just do that. I mean, we can get this in 246.50 right there for Microsoft. I feel like we just take that trade if it comes back for us. But, let's wait. It's only 307. The market's trying to bounce off of the day low, which it did do nicely right there. That's that experience where Microsoft was all the way to the downside. But the other thing here is, and I'm still holding this one trade. I'm going to find some more for you in a couple seconds. But I just want to notice that, as the market's retesting the lows, AMD is actually, we have a great fill. We have a fill. Where am I long now? I'm long at 09, but that's an average price. We actually got something down here at 04, 05. And then that's why we're able to now start to take some profits here. As you can see, there's the double long that we had at 10s, and then we took some more there at 04, 05. And then since then, these are the moves back up to the upside here. Those are just coded purple because I had some offers up here that I canceled. So now we're coding red, which is fine. Nice move back up to the upside right now. Let's just wait to see. Someone asked on Twitter, or I think it was an email actually. I got a shout out to Justin because he was asking me as well, and Neil, about some of these lines. So if anybody's watching, this is a 1 minute chart here that I have on, and the pink line, which is this line right here, it might be a little hard to see, but that pink line right there is the 50 period moving average, right? An exponential moving average. The green one is a 200 period, and then the blue, I hope they're easy enough to see, is volume weighted average price, so VWAP. So if anybody's wondering and want to trade sort of with me and look at the kind of stuff that I'm looking at, that's what I'm looking at right here. And this is why every time it pops up, you see we're getting close to that 50 period, which to me is like a trend changer. So whenever you break, like here it is breaking this, so you get a nice little downside. Okay, now we're starting to head lower, which is fine, man. My Microsoft is really ramping up. But let's just go over this in case I get stopped out. So that's just a quick little look at what I'm using on the chart. Use your own stuff, but I kept it. I mean, Neil's a good example. He threw up the 50 on his chart as well because, it just started to make a little bit of sense. And learning off of each other is really the key. And that's why I'm sharing this kind of stuff. I keep my chart super simple. There's other ones that have support lines, resistance lines, Fibonacci, everything to go through. And I don't hate on all that. I like all that. I do have more charts up here, but they're just as simple, just different time frames. So I look at a 1, a 20, and a day for you here on the show. I also have a 3-minute up there as well, and then a 30-minute on the market. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And it just goes back to what Kreda was saying there as well. It's like, know your strategies, know if they work or if they don't, and try to believe in them and try to hold them. Don't look at your net, although that's one thing that for sure I do all of the time. And you guys hear me trading that. Like even right now, I just see this bump rate back up and I'm almost not even looking at the chart. I'm just like, oh my God, this was just at 10. Now it's at 21, 22. I got to take some out, right? So that's part of what I do. But we all have our sort of vices and what we need to work on as well. So definitely let's look at that. Okay, I see some people talking about Tilray. Do I still have the... See, oh, there it is. The problem is Lucas done a great job with our board here. It's hard for me to find them now because I'm not used to them. But let's look at Tilray real quick now. I believe it's Tilray earnings, right, Brenda? We didn't go over... What the... Hello. All right. Oh, there it is. Biden to pardon all prior federal offenses for marijuana possession. Hello. That's a big move, man. That's a big move. That's a great story to tell right now for marijuana stocks. I think that's a big one. Now, that was 7 minutes ago. I apologize if we already talked about that, but that was 7 minutes ago. Late on the... did you come with that, Brendo, yet? No. Okay, so a little late on that story, which is fine, but there goes Tilray. Let's see what happens with CGC right now. Probably... Wow, that's $3. Jeez. Nice little move up. Not even as much for CGC, but... I believe that's a great move, man. That just shows that maybe the federales are getting closer to, marijuana or cannabis as an accepted form of medicine, as opposed to a street drug. Yuck. You want to talk? I mean, I don't even want to. Wow, on that. I mean, I think
this might be too much, though.
I know my account is on fire more than any spliffs are out there because this CGC has just been a real hot piece of garbage there because I do own some of these shares. It's funny because when these monitors go to sleep, it's actually an old layout of mine, and it was when CGC was like at 40 or 50 bucks. And that's the funny thing about it. But there it is there. Apparently, it's a Bloomberg report that Brennan's looking for. So let's wait to see if that is the case. And whenever Brennan says the word Bloomberg report,
that's not the reason I just shorted it.
That automatically rings a bell of something that. Maybe there's something up with this report. Maybe Bloomberg just got long at the bottom.
Well, the first thing I thought there was like,
that's
okay,
not legal,
look,
is it?
It probably is not. Is not. But the first thing I looked at was it got to 350 and did a bit of a curl on Tilray there, and I just said it just doesn't feel like it should cause this much of a move on the surface. Look, it's great news. I actually, regardless of what you think about it in terms of positive impact or not, it comes down to federal legalization more than anything else, of the actual substance, not what happens to people after the fact. So it's definitely a positive step. I have no issues with that. It just felt like maybe a little bit too much of the algo buying, and I could be wrong about that. You guys know what's going to be up here. I'm short. I got 41s. I should have 44s. Realistically, but I don't want to add to it here. So I'm actually risking 10 cents. But if you go back, there's room in terms of where it could pull back to. I could have 5 cents better risk for sure, but there's definitely room for it to pull back. I'm not really bidding just yet, but this felt like a little bit too far, too fast. I did have to grab locates, but they only cost a cent a share. Breaks 350, I'm out. My stop is in, hands off the keyboard. Keep my hands on the keyboard because I'm in other things, but I just took the shot. It looks like it wants to take out that high. Is it going to hold? Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. And why did I have 2 stops? I don't know why. So I'm going to get out of that one. Accidental long. I had 2 stops. I guess I liked it so much that when I took the second entry, I was like, oh no. I put it in double. But I'm not going long in the stock. Even though that accidental long would have worked, I'm not about that. Do have to go back over to some of these others shorts because the market is actually bouncing a little bit here. And Google, Alphabet, which was working, just put in a wick bottom through my last exit. And if we start heading back into the upside, I do want to trail this one a little bit here. We couldn't get down to the low of the day, despite the fact the futures broke the low. Google was off of those lows. And then RCL, which is one of the stronger names in the market, is bouncing off VWAP, which this is where I thought it could go to. And if the market wants to bounce from here, then I will get out of RCL. This is where my target was going to be. Gave it a shot to break through, but it did not do that. Brendan.
The growth side stocks catching a bit on this. Here's Grow Generations, GRWG, just straight to the upside at this point. That PEGI from this morning, even catching a ton of volume on this as well. PGY, part of their business is solar-based and specifically designed solar products for greenhouse or growing setups. So even PGY on the move, guys.
All right.
Oh, yeah, Peggy, of course.
Say less. As Prad said to me today when he's like asking about what trades it takes, say less right there. So, all right, I actually just punched long on GRWG, and right now, as it's starting to go back up to the upside here on that news. So thanks, Brendo. I mean, you know, this is what, I don't know if this is what you're here for. I hope you are here for this. GRWG, Grow Generations, up to 413. All right, we can take a piece out there. If it rips back up through 413, we'll get, oh, there, just dip down. We're waiting at that 413, maybe 410. You know what? Let's just take a piece out. Ooh, we just tried to, ooh, I tried to, oh, I got it. Okay, good, I got 09s there, did I? All right, good. So I punched 09s and got some. I guess that sort of wiped that down there a little bit. Let's wait to see now what happens. We are out of 20% of that. We do have an offer at 13. That's where it stood. And then we're just going to see if it can go back up to the upside. Wow. I remember trading this name like 30s, $40. Like, I'm out of this. I don't hold this anymore. So this is a big surprise to me how low this price of GRWG is. But again, a nice little bump up to the upside. Remember, this is a report that Biden, well, the thing that I'm seeing, Brendan gave it a little different story there, to pardon all prior federal offenses on simple marijuana possession. So I don't know if I'm reading that correctly or not. Brendan's obviously digging into that, so thanks for that, Brendo. And then as AMD continues to ride to the upside here, we take another piece out as it takes out the 50 period. And as I'm seeing this again, let's go to 24, 25, 26. Try to get a piece out. I'm actually at 26. There it is right there. Nice little upside move. Back, halted?
No. So now it's falling. Yeah.
Oh, falling.
Now
Okay. Yeah. So I got to go back over there. Neil's actually looking at Tilray.
I should have gone to Sundial.
They're all the same, though, at this point, aren't they?
Nah, but Sundial's more Sundial's weaker.
Weaker.
You know what I was going to say.
Is it weaker? I don't even know, man. I mean, when I looked at that CGC chart, I was like, I thought that would have been a strong one, and it's not. So acreage holdings, I still think that multi-state operators are really good ones, like Trulieve and things like that. So those of you that do own marijuana, I think it's TNFF. I don't know. I know what it is in Canada. I can look it up now, but I'm going to find out what the Trulieve one is on the pink sheets for a lot of you U.S. customers out there.
Yeah, and look, it's like it's across the board. It doesn't really matter what you look at. It's just I've traded Sundial a heck of a lot more than any of the weed names that I've ever looked at. It's just because Tilray was front of the mind because of the earnings that are coming through, and that can sometimes cloud things because I should never have gone to Tilray first. If you think about it, when the stock is leaned onto the short side and you get a catalyst like this in front of earnings, there'll be more people running to the exits with more gusto, trying to take risk off, which makes a ton of sense. And I didn't really think about that in the heat of the moment. Whereas it's less complicated if you don't have a catalyst coming literally that same afternoon. And there's some established levels here. If we get to $3, I'm definitely going to be looking for shorts on Sundial. Kind of missing a few days of data on my daily chart. Remember, they did like a reverse split. That's why you see the gap in the chart. But either way, Sundial up 15%. They're all up 15%. NVIDIA just popped to 132, I should say. And Alphabet, it's starting to come back. Still on the daily there. Starting to come back. It just rejected this high right here. So yeah, oddly enough, no break of the consolidation bottoms. That's a pretty decent sign for the short. I kind of think I want to add to it here because what I just saw happen in the overall market was the NASDAQ hold the bottom of the channel, and in the ES over here, it just tried to break back above the morning highs, or lows, I should say, and then rejected that, and looks like we're coming back to the downside. So I want to re-up on some of these shorts. I'm going to go for Google first. RCL is going to be a bit of a different story, but Google I'm going to get back in. If it breaks that 101.80, I'm out. Brendo?
Not really reacting to this, but the first sign of a date has come. Apparently, Elon Musk and lawyers saying they're willing to close this deal by October 28th, guys.
October 28th. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so a couple days ago we had 54.20 bought deal done, and now we are debating on when exactly it's going to be done. So hopefully that will all settle everything down, and we can stop talking about that nonsense, to be quite frank with you. But it's been fun to trade. I mean, it's given us a lot of trades. I don't think either one of us have really traded Twitter nearly as much, obviously, as we've traded Tesla.
It's just more fun to trade Tesla on Tesla.
It is, yeah. I mean, and that's what I mean. Like, let's get back to like trading actual stock here for movement based on technical reasons or news headlines associated with the stock and or the industry, not the founder and what he's dealing with other things such as Twitter. All right, so 238.50, nice little bottom there for Tesla coming through right now. Like, I apologize if I'm not really looking at anything too much here, because I don't really see a whole hell of a lot that's happening. MJ is halted. I don't know if there's some, okay, so Grow Generations, wow, holy crap. All right, I didn't even notice this. We got out at 13 there, and now it's a big move up to this upside one more time.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna take, okay, I just got some out there at 37 again. I put offer, enter, boom, took it all out. So this is a nice little win for us here on this name. I don't think it's diamond hands, but it's a nice little move to the upside. We got in basically when Brendan reported it. He said Grow Generation, talked about, growing your own and this and that. So I didn't even know it was down to $3, but a nice little move upside here for GRG. You're on MJ, but let me just check out Tilray quickly here.
But
as
it's
well.
halted down, MJ.
Okay, so it's halted down. I guess that's volatility. We'll just double check that. That's an Amex stock. So hold on, let me just I'll call it up here since you're on my screen already. Here's the MJ ETF. So halted, again, we don't have a tap here, so Amex works a lot differently than New York NASDAQ. So 537, I don't think that they have the same halt rules. Could be wrong on that as well, but nicely done up to 5.1. It can't be halted on the way down. 5.10, the last print is 5.37, so it's halted up here right now. Nah, that's just, that's bad. Yeah,
okay,
so
I have bad data then.
Yeah, it's halted to the upside. I'm going to say it's volatility. It's probably 50 cents there in about 10, less than a minute, it looks like anyways. Brendo's always got more.
The best part of this whole story, guys, is that it would appear that these comments came from President Biden while he was making a speech at IBM talking about chip stocks. So while at IBM, President Biden talking about weed.
While he's at the right, okay, so that's where it came from. Okay, so he is there talking at the IBM plant. I did want to watch IBM as well today, and I know he's talking Global Foundries and IBM. The plants are close to each other. People thought there could be something there connected in between them. There's IBM, a nice little bump up, but this name has been absolutely destroyed as well. I thought this was going to be more of a safe haven. They do have that big div, right, 5%, so they have a nice dividend behind it, but it's fallen out, just like the other markets have as well, back down to some support levels here. So I do like IBM in there. So part of it is why I'm holding this AMD. I mean, I'm just thinking that there could be some good news coming through about the chip sector at any moment, whether or not it's some relief or something like that. I don't know, and not that they need that, and nor do I think it's the government's responsibility to do anything about this. But we'll wait to see. There was that export ban, I guess, against those NVIDIA chips into China. So I don't know if there's anything about that that's going to happen. Either way, man, we're just playing it off the bottom. If it breaks, we're gone. But I'm like to hold this in case we do get a break higher. I really like the break higher on AMD, to be honest with you. I'm almost about to push long if this breaks 68.30. I mean, this is what it looks like. This is 68.30 right here. Pushing it, stopping, not going. That high is 68.33. Forget about it.
It's the same. I'm
going to go for it.
Look at this chart. NVIDIA is the same thing, except it's 132 even. Even Tesla 240, oh yeah, my chart here. It's the same thing, but 132 even on NVIDIA, same consolidation break. I had this long twice, and it didn't work twice. And even Tesla, Tesla's breaking up. I'm about to get stopped out of that Google short. It was good originally, but now it looks like it wants to break. The market just put a bit of a wick bottom in there. This is what I mean. You broke the low, you're back above it. We like wick tops and wick bottoms. There's the break. So I'm into this. Why am I not stopped out of Oh, yeah, Google hasn't broken 1080 yet, just yet, but it's going to. So I'm just going to get out of the Google almost manually. Who cares? This market has made a wick bottom, and you want to find your way into some longs. Tesla is another one at a pretty interesting level. It's at 240. Actually, it probably needs to break 240.75 or 241 now that I look at it. But as long as we can hold above that previous low, I want to find my way into some long trades. And one of those, remember Meta? I ended up getting out of Meta a little bit early, thinking it was relatively strong. Maybe it's not going to get to VWAP. Well, Meta has been relatively strong. If it can break out of here, I'm going to try to like this one as well. Relative strength, I like a whole lot better if we're going to make a run back into some of these highs. Of course, the second I get into said NVIDIA, it tries to pull right back in here. But this hasn't broken out just yet in Meta, so I want to give it that chance.
All right, we're getting out another piece here at 20. Just got it out just now, so we're going to wait to see what happens with GRWG. We only have, of course, it rips back up. We only have 20% left on GRWG, so we'll wait to see where that goes. Again, already hit the top. We didn't hit the bottom, but that's a pretty good print there, considering the volumes are just kind of picking up right now. It is fading back in on that one, so let's pay attention to that with only 30 minutes left in the day. We are going to watch some marijuana stocks coming through today as this is getting spicier and spicier. And with the with more news, what's up, Brendan?
Here is the actual comment, or the statement, I guess. So this was a release statement as a part of his appearance in New York this afternoon, talking at IBM. I highlighted this part because this is kind of interesting as well. He's also going to urge all governors to do the same with regards to state offenses. So just as no one should be in a federal prison solely due to the possession of marijuana, no one should be in a local jail or a state prison for that reason either. So both on a state and federal basis, guys, it would appear.
Yeah, so it just expands even more. And thank you for the super chat there, Dominic. Your what's the news on Current? It's flying. Same thing. It's the same thing as Grow Generation, Tilray, anything in the cannabis space right now. I would imagine even if you're loosely connected to it, you're running to the upside. That's pretty much the way that it's going here.
Not
so
going
Current
up that much though.
Current?
No, I mean even all of these names. I don't know. I feel like
Current's it's like a penny stock though. I mean. But they're all moving.
I mean, I say that. It's actually the same as Tilray. I mean, they're all up 25% right now and still going. The crazy thing about all this, I'm in Grow Generation brands. We've already talked about that. It's moving the least right now, it seems like. But maybe not. Tilray report. Don't they report tonight? Or tomorrow morning. Either way, they're going to be reporting tomorrow before open. So, that's going to be something else. Like, what if Tilray actually has decent earnings? Plus more tailwinds here with the president speaking.
Shorts are screwed.
So the shorts are really going to get destroyed on this name tomorrow. With that being said, and I'm just saying, if I'm not making that as a prediction. I don't know what their earnings are going to be. I would say, if we didn't have this note out today, I would say the same things I always say, stay as far away from these marijuana stocks as possible because they've been a complete nightmare. And you don't have to take my word for that. You can either A, look at my account, or B, look at your account or a chart if you've ever owned these names, if you're still in them. I'm still in them. I don't have obviously as much as I used to, but wow. They are getting lit on fire for sure. Okay, so here's Tilray. I like to go to this. Shout out to Luca again, who's going to be on the show tomorrow. He's the first guy that I heard of mentioning Float Checker. So here it is right here, floatchecker.com. On average, pretty solid right now. Looks to be about 11. So 11% short on Tilray. If I'm going long on this name, I would prefer it. I mean, I already own Tilray shares, but I would prefer it to be much higher than 11%. But we'll see if that does have an effect tomorrow on this. It's such a small name that I could really see retail getting behind this. Excuse me, I just chugged that water. We've seen Tilray do hundreds and hundreds of millions of shares and be up hundreds of percent. So let's see what tomorrow brings to TLRY right now. Someone's saying check AMC. What's up, man? What's up, Lamine?
Small
right there, probably not moving at all, and I'll bite on that one as well. Yeah, petit peu right there. Small move on AMC. Yeah, I don't need to check this one. You need to check yourself. Not just playing around. Not much happening there on AMC. I do feel like as retail comes back into the game here, you are going to get another bump at some point. And I don't know when it's going to be. Obviously, if I did, we'd be loaded up right now. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think that as the market starts to bounce back, you're now, like I said, 5-6% up in the last couple of days. If the market can keep going, I feel like traders will get confidence to run back to some of these names. So Bed Bath & Beyond AMC. Rocket was another one that was going before. You guys know all the usual suspects here. 328, AMD still. Or, yeah, isn't it? Yeah, 328. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I wanted to look at AMD quickly because I just want to give you guys a new trade. I'm going to be patient, man. I'm going to channel my inner Creta there and say I'm going to wait for my setup to happen, and it's got to take this out. 68.35. If we take out that top, we'll punch a little more long on AMD. But look what we did, man. It came right back to the top, and we took it out. So we'll hit the siren alert for now. That seems like a good idea. Oh, that's right, Lucas. Good one. Just learned there. You don't learn. It's like they can tell you the stove is hot, like what I tell my kids all the time. Thank God they never did this. This is just an example. But, that stove is hot. So when they touch it and they burn their finger, at least you told them. So Lucas said,
still not good.
If we hit one animation, then you hit another one, it will cancel said first one. So I just did it right there.
It's very tempting to do that right now. I won't do it, but I do want to get to this. Thank you, Sunny D. That's Sunny D. I remember back in the day, that was delicious stuff.
Still is, man.
You know what? I drink water, coffee, and alcoholic beverages. Pretty much, that's all I do. I don't even drink juice or any of that stuff. But I will take a look at Snapchat.
Drink, though.
He said, but I don't drink pop.
Oh, because right. The one you're missing in there is the pop, right?
But please and thank you. I'm just all about water, coffee, and booze. Thank you for the work you do and offering it for free on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the super chat. You guys are the reason why we do it for free, quite frankly. And I don't mind looking at Snapchat for an overall. Remember, a lot of social media names have gotten a little bit of a bump when you have some recent deal action coming through. But this has made a very, very good base at $9. Now, if we're getting a relief rally in this market and we're going to make some temp highs, SPY trying to get to that 50 period or the 200 period, then stocks like this, which have made a nice bottom and are beaten up, have a chance to go 50 period to testing some breakouts. Now, it's got a huge channel at 13, and my concern would be when you get to that channel at 13, it does the same thing that Pinterest has been doing, where it looks like it's going to be a great breakout, and then all it does is fail to get very far past. It still gives you some opportunities. 11 to 13 is great. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But some of these have had some trouble following through, and I already know Pinterest is doing that. But I love the base that these are putting in. It makes for great swing opportunities there, and there's room to go if you do end up breaking out. So there are some great setups in these to start be hunting longs above the 50 period or off these even $10 levels. I don't see a trade for today on it because, quite frankly, there's other things moving. Like Tilray. By the way, Tilray, of course I get in way too early. That's the thing about Snap News. Sometimes you should just wait for it to come in.
People have found you out, man. Yeah, you are right, Bull Shark. Sunny D was Neil's rapper name.
I like that.
That's too funny. That is a good one. I do like that one, man, for sure. And, pop must be, is that a Canadian thing? Because people think you said you drink pot drinks.
No, I meant
and that's
pop,
pop.
like soda.
That's what I'm saying. So I was going to clarify that. So I don't know if we do that here. It's like, why do we have ketchup chips and you don't? I don't know. But we'll do this. I know why. Because Canada is why.
But I actually, I don't drink juice anymore.
Right. Juice is horrible.
I don't drink soda. Nothing. It's been a year. It's
I'll drink some Diet Pepsi.
Since university, if it's in a mixed drink or something like that, but I just drink water. And the weird thing about it is
the only way I'll drink pop is with rum.
Yeah, pretty much. But if I have a sip, if I try to drink a can of Coke, after 2 sips, I'm like, ugh, I don't even want it. You'd be surprised at how much your body doesn't love all that sugar. Trust me.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You stop doing it.
Brendan smelt those Timbits and gained about, I think he went on the scale, he gained 0.75 pounds, I think he said.
But that being said, one of the reasons why I did that, and I don't is because I know I'm going to eat the crap out of pastry. I can't be doing both those things,
so
man.
Don't send pastries here.
Because is game over, man. I know where I'm going to do that, so I can't do this. That's how I roll, man.
Yeah, never do that, guys. Never do that.
Don't ever send... I just never, ever, ever send fritters here.
Yes, what's up, Corey?
Just don't do that.
There it is, man. Shout out to Hydration Nation as well. Oh, my fellow Hydration Nation member coming through tomorrow. It's me and Arun early, as Neil's going to take the day off and hydrate himself for the Jays game tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do,
As we get ready. Well, you got to hydrate yourself in preparation, right? You got to be hydrated in preparation for the activities happening.
I won't run on the field or anything, though.
No, you better
That
not.
being said,
you better not. I don't think they treat. Did you see what the hell Wagner did to that guy?
He destroyed him.
Did you see it though?
I saw
it.
it.
Was. I honestly think that that's stepping over the line.
Don't run on a football field.
No, but as
They're
a player
killer.
in full gear,
I don't think they should be doing that. There's
exactly.
security's there,
I would
man.
be suing Bobby Wagner.
Let the security
100%.
handle that situation. By the way, I'm taking.
I would say my ass was concussed and everything.
Yeah. Well, he probably was concussed. I saw that
Exactly.
kid.
But anyways,
We had a friend, he asked this question, would you rather stand in against Randy Johnson or take a hit from Ray Lewis? And I was like, that's the dumbest
I saw
question.
That was like a trend.
I think it's the dumbest question I ever heard. Of course I'd rather stand in against Randy Johnson because there's no guarantee he's going to hit me with a fastball. Ray Lewis could kill me.
The actual question is not,
What's the actual question?
The actual question is this. Would you rather try to tackle Derrick Henry?
No.
Or be tackled by Aaron Donald? That's the question that was trending on Instagram.
That's not an easy
So for
answer.
me, I'd rather
How
just
hard do
try to tackle Derrick Henry.
Because
when he runs my ass over,
Olay.
that's it.
Olay.
I'll go for like the midsection or whatever. He'll just like stiff arm me out of the way, and I'll get thrown like that Buffalo Bill guy did or whatever.
Did you
that
see
was.
what Aaron Donald did in to his teammate in practice?
Right, so you're expecting me to stand there with a ball in my hand as if I'm some dumbass quarterback and then get run over by Aaron Donald? Hell no.
There's a drill in first year high school when I was at football tryouts. There's a drill called the Tunnel of Love. I don't know if maybe you guys are familiar with this. It's like everyone lines up and they put a ball in there, offensive guy, defensive guy. They call two names, offensive guy gets the ball, and just you have to go run past the defensive guy.
Yeah, it's like Red Rover.
I was like 135 pounds soaking wet in grade 9. So no matter how tight the tunnel was, I was not trying to truck the guy. I was trying to put a move on every single time.
Well,
I am not trying to hit nobody. I'm like, forget about it. I will olay. As though I'm getting hit by Aaron Donald. He'll kill you.
Right. So
and he won't even care that you're smaller than him.
Oh, Katrina, I thought that was a Wu-Tang shirt. I was about to be like, what's on the front of that shirt, Katrine? Katrine, turn around. Let me see what's on the front of that shirt. Oh, nothing. I thought it was a Wu-Tang shirt. Okay. All right.
So, by the way, I saw a refresher at 370 on Tilray that kind of put in this other rejection, so I grabbed the short on this thing. I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I just feel like it should be coming down into VWAP. It's rejected a couple of times, and there's some sellers starting to come into it. We'll see what ends up happening, but I've definitely seen a bit of an acceleration of some people dumping this stock beneath that 370 level. So I'll probably give it to 375. I don't want to give this to the high of the day. The market is now starting to roll over again, so it looks like that NVIDIA is about to stop out at about 40 cents or so. And remember that Meta? Oh, actually, no, it was not Meta. It was Google I want to talk about. Meta was looking for a long. Google, there's the wick. Is it broke? And now it's right back to the same level. So I'm kind of thinking I should just be jumping right back into that trade into Google. Wick top. I got out essentially about that break even of the original short. The second short don't like it. But that the 101.80 level. The 101.80 level looks a heck of a lot better for Google. About 12 minutes until we get the imbalances. So want some of these to resolve themselves by then. But the market is now headed once again back down toward those lows.
Yeah, so, those of you guys someone said in the thing that, Sean would blow out his knee too late. I've already done that.
There's a story
Yeah,
there.
so I've already had this operation in HTO to correct it. So I've got metal and everything in my knee. My knee is cracked up. So just like what Neil was talking about, I was on the high school football team, rugby team, baseball team, basketball. Me and Neil were actually on basketball and baseball together in high school. So that's
I got two good stories about
That's how far that goes back in. And one time I had to choose between volleyball and basketball, but I'm glad I chose basketball.
That's an easy choice.
Play with all you guys. Anyways, in rugby, I blew out my knee, and then I was so young that I was just kept on like rehabbing it, but then I loved to play sports, so I kept on playing it and kept on blowing my knee out over and over and over again. And then finally, a few years ago, we have a doctor friend of ours here, and he was like, you got to come see me, because I was telling him all about it. And then he looked at it and was like, this is horrible. And then I got referred to like the Team Canada doctor because our friend is there. And he was like, wow, this is crazy. So then I did have that operation. I actually had cracks in my kneecap. So you can see, like, obviously that was a problem. So even right now, I'm not even supposed to be playing like high impact. So, working out would be something like, the bike, the rowing machine, things like that, but treadmills and stuff like that, no. So, so you're all right. I would blow out my knee.
True story,
if
though.
that did happen.
They did not stop play of that rugby game.
I see that
They
one.
did not stop play of that.
Yeah,
rugby
yeah.
game.
That comes from a guy that's very.
Well, I wasn't there.
You
That's
know,
the story.
you know,
The
exactly,
story
exactly.
goes that they literally. I mean, obviously, I know it's a serious injury, and they wouldn't stop play when it happened.
No, it was no, because I got off the field and then subbed back out.
Which
I don't even
probably-
know what the rules of rugby even are. but
I don't
that
know
was-
because they don't really have the same kind of
Yeah,
stoppage.
swimming is another great one. Yeah, swimming is
Swimming is
great.
great, man.
No, everything's fine. It just was able to you're sitting in a movie theater and you can't even sit there without getting pain over the last little while.
Yeah,
so,
that sucks.
all right. Enough about trials and tribulations of everything here.
Someone was asking about CCL
Yeah.
for a swing
Yeah.
off $7. Look,
Nothing's moving.
I have
actually.
no issues with the long 7. I like it on CCL. Actually, I didn't talk about this. I did get the long on CCL today off of the $7. It got to 7.20. That was again pretty solid. The breakout was no good this morning, but the bounce off 7 was fantastic. Here's the downside to a swing long on CCL. Like you're out. In theory, is that it makes a fresh low and you just stop out at 650. So as long as you have no problem with the gap risk, which would be that it gaps below your stop over the weekend or whenever it happens, and then suddenly you're getting worse than you anticipate because it just opens much lower than your stop. That's the thing about overnight swings. If you're okay with that, the setup is pretty solid here. Like you've made a capitulation bottom, you have a set of higher lows, you have a defined out, and you've got room to fill in the gap. Now the market's heading to the downside. That's going to be a bit of a concern for you there. But overall, I don't mind that play. Like, do I like swing longs in that situation? Not really. I tend to like the day trade where you just take the in and the out. I know my defined risk is exactly that. I'm punching out at that low. Nothing can happen to me that'll stop me from getting out at that price unless I fall asleep or miss my stop. You can't gap beneath it overnight, and that's the risk associated with it. Your stop, while there, you might not be able to execute it. Now, depending on the rules with your broker, when it comes to pre-market and post-market trading, I'm making an assumption that there are limited times there because most do. So when you're doing those types of swings in these volatile names, the ability to execute from 4 a.m. on is definitely a huge advantage. I would suggest when you're doing those types of volatile swings that you have the ability to do that. Because if you can only execute in market hours, swinging on these names when they're moving like this and this volatile, it can be a very tricky proposition.
So I just tried to buy some 68.10s there, missed it. So now we're at 68.11. I was just sitting at 10, did not get the fill down there. I'm showing that it went to 07 there. I don't know why it got passed up there. So we're going to be bid again. It just came down. AMD just came down into the bottom of the range. So we want to grab that. That bottom is 68. So we're going to try to get the long into there and just play off of this. Thanks for watching and thanks for all the kind words on the chat again. Grow generation is starting to go back up to the upside right now. So let's see if that does happen. Did that MJ open back up? Yes, it did. So it opened back up to nothing. So we'll wait to see there. 17, 17, 28. I do like the idea of Tilray lotteries, man. I really do. I think that if you're going to do something on Tilray, I would say, and again, buy whatever calls, puts, anything you want on this name. But I just think that with earnings coming, all this increased volume here since 3 o'clock on that news, I just wonder about when Main Street media, because I bet you these jokers behind us don't even have this story yet. And I don't mean the traders, I mean the CNBC up there, probably don't even have it, let alone everything else, right? So wait till this gets late night talk shows and things like that. I'm serious. This is the kind of stuff that rallies certain names, man. It's like people hear about it, they talk about it with their friends over beers or whatever's happening tonight. Football game is tonight. Then they come in tomorrow and they buy the damn stock. So I've seen that happen over and over again. So have you guys. So I'm not pounding the table to do that. I don't think it's a horrible idea at all. I would feel better if Tilray didn't have earnings because I don't think the earnings will be very good. That might be the negative catalyst there for tomorrow. But on a positive note, I just think that Tilray, if you're going to look at this thing and you want to talk about potential upside, this is one of those names, man, where you have a big move up and, could you get to 450 tomorrow? Easily you could get to 450. Could you get to 550 tomorrow? I don't think that's out of the question either. This is hopium. This is not this is going to happen. Someone said lottery. Whenever you buy a lottery ticket, you have to understand that you're going to lose, but there is that chance that something does happen. So I think Tilray for me is a reasonable position. I'm already I know we have a disclaimer and everything on the show, but everybody that watches this knows that my account does have Tilray in it, and CGC, and I think that's, I have True Leave, we've talked about that, and probably a few other pot names, but nothing like Tilray or CGC. Those are my two big holdings, which have been an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. And look, obviously...
Well, that's a TCNNF. That's what it is.
I'm going to make the assumption, like I'm not sitting here looking at the chain right now, but I see people already talking about it. I can imagine that the volume is just going absolutely out of control.
This is the big one
call
here.
volume there.
Yeah, this is True Leave. This is the
True Leave's going nuts.
This is actually the biggest one that, I think this is the biggest one that I own. So I'm going to have to.
Mr.
So we have a policy obviously on here that we don't trade any of our accounts or any of our names like that while we're on the show or anything. So this is up 40% right now. I do own this stock, and we've been talking about that for a very long time. But look at the disaster that owning this stock has been. I mean, it's not like, oh wow, great, like I'm rich. No, probably not even flat yet. So we'll wait to see where this stock goes. But True Leave, nicely done on that one. Okay, we did get it. Enough about the marijuana stocks. Thanks, guys, for that. And I want to give a shout out to who just gave that symbol there in the chat. I'll have to find it. Dave, what's up? Dave hates 808s. So what's up, Dave? I don't mind 808s and heartbreaks. Right there. So we did get a little long off the bottom there. Those of you that know 808s and Heartbreak, that album, put it in the chat. That guy's been in a lot of controversy lately for sure. All right, so there goes AMD. We did get that reload. It just shot up to 20 there. Not on me though, it went to 18, so we'll have to watch out for that. A reload there on AMD. Let's see if it wants to go to the upside with only 5 minutes left. Brendan came with 300 million to sell on the imbalances.
Yeah, so early look is going to be the sell side. Look at the just back and forth, the barcoding going on in NVIDIA here. So I did take this entry to the long side. If it breaks that consolidation down, I want to get the heck out of Dodge. I did grab Alphabet there, jump back into Alphabet, I should say. It's like the third time this afternoon, and I'm going to sit right here and grab a little bit of a bid out. So we're going to get a little bit out there on Alphabet as it does want to press to the downside. It just feels like it's relatively weak. I thought Tesla was going to do a little bit more, but this is Tesla at VWAP. I mean, I don't know, like I look at NVIDIA, it's about to break that 101.50, like a 50-cent range, that's all it's putting in with all this volatility. So not a heck of a lot happening outside of some of these weed names. I know there's a few others, like Peggy, that moved on the weed, I'll get the cannabis news there, and starting to pull back pretty heavily. So Peggy was one we were trading, not to today, but certainly yesterday, we're trading it pretty heavily, and then getting a bump here. Pretty bullish if it can hold that $4 level, but a massive break. It didn't quite get to 5, but it got pretty darn close there on PEGY. Definitely a name in that space. So many of them moving. If you're wondering why any of these, if something made a huge move about an hour ago or 40 minutes ago, whenever it was, then decent chance, if it was to the upside, decent chance that it was in the cannabis space. That $7 level, it's a bit late in the day for me to want to jump in and do that scalp trade like 1s and 2s on CCL. I don't really, like at 346, I wouldn't put that trade on. If it was earlier in the session, I would have this long down in CCL to be sure, but it's a bit late in the session. There's about 500,000 shares on the bid, so it's a pretty significant bid on CCL at $7 right now.
No, Flame Boy, that's fine. No, I'm going to say that. You asked if I'm going to trade the imbalances. Nah, I'm not going to trade them today. It needs to be a little bit of a bigger number for me to look at it. 300 million to sell. It's not huge. There's not a marketable event tonight or anything like that, like a rebalance as far as I know. Or there could be rebalance on individual names, but it's not like a quarter rebalance or anything. So I'll probably stick away from that. I'm trying to just hold these positions that I have right now and see where we go. So Amazon, I mean, we've had this, okay, there goes AMD, let's go. We just got some 15, so there's the reload at 68. We talked about that, that's what we wanted to get. That's why my average price right now is 09. So it's a good one there, moving back up to the upside. Let's see if we go here through this, man. It's 347. I don't want to hold into the imbalances because we've seen them, when Brendan's come with these kind of numbers, sometimes Apple will pop in there with a few hundred million dollars worth, but 100,000 or 300,000 shares to sell, sometimes 1 million shares to sell as well, which gets it to that 100 million mark. So let's just be careful with what's going on in the NASDAQ. I don't know, but we're at the bottom. I like it. We're going to get out if we take down the 67.90. So that's 67.95 there. I believe my order is around that price. It's 67.90. If we break that, we can get out. But for right now, Microsoft is in a nice short position for us as well. That's $1.20 in the money and just holding this. And then our Amazon that we've been in the whole day. I mean, how can we do this? I mean, I know Neil's trading Google a little bit, and that kind of looks barcoding as well. I mean, so does AMD. All these NASDAQ names in the afternoon are just doing straight lines. Like there's nothing happening. Like this is just like, boom, move down, move up, wend up in the middle. But if you look at this, we are starting to make like, you know, if that doesn't really count, but higher, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, all the way down, all the way down, and all the way down to where we are right now. So I don't think that we're going to rip or anything like that. We're just holding on to some of these trades to see where we go. So 2 shorts, Amazon and Microsoft, and then really just 1 long here on AMD, which looks like it wants to take out that bottom. So good thing we did get a couple shares out there. 3 times out. We're holding a piece now, but it looks like it wants to break back down to the downside. So really all good. And then the last position we have, of course, is Grow Generation Brands. And this one, we just have a small piece left, just holding it for that dream. We've already done pretty well on this one.
Yeah, I just got out of NVIDIA because we're 1 minute away from the imbalances. I don't know that I want to hold a long into those, but Meta just broke this level to the downside. I wanted Meta to break upside and break 140. You know, but it broke the consolidation in the other direction, pretty much what Alphabet did as well. But we're going to have the imbalances for you in a quick second here. I'll keep my level 2 up so I can trade it. And then we'll look to see. I mean, just because it's a small imbalance, that 300 side or whatever, you know, 280 or whatever it happened to be, doesn't mean it has to come out in that direction. We've seen it come in the other direction. I always want to make sure I have a stop, so I will slap a trailing stop or just a stop in general on the Meta position as we are about to get the imbalances in 10 seconds. I'm not going to move away from it here. Because I want to make sure, let's just adjust my stop. I always feel like I make the stop tighter as we get closer to the imbalances, just because if it goes against me, I just almost want to be out right away. But here they come. Don't see anything too big. Altria there, 1.8 million to sell. Where are the big names on here? Where are the big names? Nothing. JD.com to buy 760, Pinduoduo. So some of the Chinese names. Intel's at the bottom, 600. So it really doesn't look like much of anything in terms of the big names out there, but a couple of the Chinese ADRs are to the buy side. I actually just got a bid, so I guess we did head downside a little bit there, so I caught a bid on Meta as that continues to fall. Market coming down in, NVIDIA down at 131, so probably a good decision to get out there. Yeah, a bit of a nothing burger, it feels like, on those imbalances.
It's funny because there goes Brendo again. See, it's 180 million to buy, so you know, pretty much a nothing burger on that one. We'll close this up. Neil just did that. If there's anything on here or if something pops up, Neil and I watching it, so we'll take an eye on that if anything gets spicy for that. So AMD breaks, we don't get out, and we're able to get something out here in the 90s. Now let's see, it is a buy imbalance, so you know, if the market does want to head back up to the north side, we're still here for it. We're long at 09. I do have an offer out at 05, just kind of where we went right back up to. We missed the 05. So on the imbalance, it did come up. We're at 05. It did go to 03 there. I just went to 05 because that's where this tick was. So pick the wrong tick there to get out. So we'll wait to see if it takes down 68 right now. More upside surprise potentially for AMD. We do have that bottom to get out though. We break this 67.85 and we're out of that. Brendan also just mentioned that Tilray was also back to, yeah, so Tilray still going to day's high. I talked about it at 370 that it was probably worth buying. I should have done it myself, 15 cents. I would take the 15 cents right now if you're day trading, especially because we got to be flat. And again, thank you so much for watching. I'd like to see that like counter go upside right now. 1.3K? Like, come on, man, that should be at 2,000. We had trading psychologist Intraday on. That should be something that's pretty important. 1.3K, definitely not enough. Show your love. If not for us, then for our guest. And we're trying to plan to have her back on as well.
Was amazing.
So, yeah, Intraday was great. So let's go on that one. Have her back, man. And then tomorrow's Friday, so it should be a real fun show. Fun couple days ahead of us. Well, one more day until the weekend, and then we got those Jays game tomorrow, man. I'm already getting psyched up.
Oh, it's going to be wild to be sure. That Meta wicked me out here. It came a buy and bounce. So actually, when it was in fact a buy and bounce, I did trail it right to break even instead of giving it any room, and it spiked right back up. So bit of a quick in and out there on Meta at that low. It looks like that one's gonna possibly rebound a little bit. The market's not gonna end up rebounding a heck of a lot. And just a couple of names. Twitter. I didn't see a sell imbalance. Not Twitter. Tesla. Man, there's too much Twitter talk, and then every time I look at Tesla, I'm thinking Twitter for whatever reason. Tesla breaking down as well, but I didn't see any imbalance on that, and obviously Twitter making some moves. It was just all this back and forth with headlines. It ends up now closing, well, potentially closing at those lows at 50. So it ran stops at 51 and then went right back to holding that 51 level. So it feels as if, you know, there's still people that want to take the money and run at that 51 price, just like they were at 52 the other day. About 5 minutes to go here, guys, and obviously it is Thursday. But as you said, I'm not going to be here on Friday.
Ah, right.
And you said something that gave me an idea. So you know what's coming after the close. But it is because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Took the day because Arun, if he comes in, he kind of has to be there the whole day anyways. And then I can get ready for what's going to be an amazing game for the Blue Jays. And I locked in our pick, by the way.
Okay, good. Who do we go with? Bills?
I thought we were going
Tampa? Okay. I'm fine with either one of those. Bills or Tampa, I'm fine with it.
We locked in Tampa on our suicide because we're going to say, you guys said to save
We can change it.
You guys said to save the Bills for later and take Tampa.
But for later, for like, yeah, no, I'm down
like,
with Tampa.
everybody
Tampa
here-
against Atlanta.
Everybody
Kyle
was saying
Pitts is out, I think.
Yeah, they said save the Bills.
Okay.
Cordell Patterson's not playing. He's out.
Yeah, I'm fine, but Teddy Algier there is going to go crazy, I think. Tyler, sorry. I call him Teddy in our chat.
Tampa's got a good run, D.
Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, yeah, no, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
You know you're in trouble when the guys I'm going with are already trying to count the beers they're going to be drinking there tomorrow, so this is going to be a problem. Oh, I got to shout out Tony, man. Maybe Tony has a discount there. I know he's going to be working tomorrow. I might need said discount on those beers tomorrow. Brenda, what up?
This is from Associated Press, guys, but I mean, just reiterating what we already said. Twitter won't accept renewed $44 billion bid for the company, and they've asked the Delaware court to halt the upcoming trial. So again, kind of just reiterating what we already said, but from Associated Press.
So Twitter will go ahead with that deal. That's what I heard, Brendo?
Accept the renewed $44 billion bid for the company.
Oh, won't accept. Okay, like this is just, things are changing like all the time. Like what does that mean to Twitter? So there's Twitter, so starting to trend down again, down to 49.96. Like I don't even know anything about this, so that's why I keep asking Brendan. Like, I was like, what are we hearing? You know, it's like one story is one thing,
going on?
other story is something else completely.
Sometimes just hands off is the best.
Yeah. All right. And with that being said, I'm going to start hands-offing all these trades because it's getting close now. We only have 4 minutes to go before the market does close. Microsoft's making a little bit of a move back, so as is Amazon. So we could just like get out of all of these basically right now. There we go. We're out of our Amazon. We can get out of some Microsoft right now, I guess, as well, as we'll just punch out right there and take that out. So a couple good outs there, a buck or so there. Our Amazon trade was a good trade as well. Still holding that short from here. It just barcoded all afternoon. Obviously, the best out would have been down there, but we didn't get that. So there's an out off of all of these shorts. And then, yeah, I guess, like, why am I waiting at 05 and things like that when AMD just comes right back to flat? So we'll just start punching out of all these trades. Thanks for watching. It's going to be even a bigger show tomorrow. Every day is a better show, so keep coming back every single day, man. And I hope you had a lot of fun today. We had some big guests, Luis this morning, training psychologist in the afternoon, and a great midday show as well with Trader Prad and Sharif.
Yes, sir. And by the way, there was an Altria MO here. There were a sell imbalance of 1.6 million. I'm really only pointing it out because obviously this is what the stock has been doing for the last little bit, as you can imagine, catching a bit of a bit. But what I think is probably happening is with the news and the big spike to the upside, someone's taking advantage of this to sell a bunch of shares into this strength at the close. So that 1.6 million to sell isn't doing too much of a dent, as Altria obviously just turned green here, as you can see. I'm going to be watching it just as a curiosity to see if that ends up staying. We're past 355 when normally you'd see those imbalances pair off, and it is still a rather large buy imbalance. The other one that's stuck around here is Taiwan Semiconductor, still about $1 million to buy to the upside. They just got an upgrade. And oddly enough, the last thing it just did is fall with the market. So, it just showed you Altria with the sell imbalance is at the highs, and TSM just came to the downside with a buy imbalance. But it's Altria that's obviously more interesting going into this close.
All right, right there. So there it is, man. We just got the last piece out of Grow Generation. We actually got 26s. It ripped up and got us out of that one. So far, so good on that. And yeah, we're getting ready to go, man. What is GGE? Someone's talking about that quickly there. What is GGE? A lot of volume. There it is. Just halted right in front of our face right there. So another marijuana stock for sure. GGE, Green Giant Incorporated. Wow. Damn it, man. Okay, so like, that's the play, guys. Like, we saw that story. This one's late to the party. It got going. I feel like, well, that would make sense. Green Giant, that would make sense, right? That was a marijuana stock. So, yeah. Isn't it? It's not?
I don't know.
I don't know. It makes sense that it would be. I don't know.
Why is there no
nice little move to
information
the
on
upside. I don't know. Oh, someone said no. It's Chinese real estate. Is that right? I don't know.
I
I don't know what it
see
is. But
nothing on
anyways, I'm just saying it makes sense if this is a marijuana name because there are so many other ones just running right now. Tilray at the high of the day. That TCNNF. Thanks for bringing that to our attention as well. TrueLeave. So was up. Okay, still up 35%. So yeah, all these names, man, continue to be some hot fire into the close there. As let's see what comes of this tomorrow. Tilray earnings. I wish they were right now, like aftermarket. I'm really excited just to see, not only just as a shareholder, but just to see like where we go here on this story. The only time marijuana names, cannabis names ever move is when you do get
it's like a Chinese company.
Okay, so GG has nothing to do with it. Okay.
I wonder, wouldn't it be hilarious if, like, imagine that just went up on because people assumed it was, and they just started punching long because they thought it was a weed stock?
That would make sense to me, man, if that's what it was.
Oh, man. Remember when there was like that pink sheet stock or the OTC stock that was like the same letters or something similar to Tesla, and then it got a bit of a bid.
Yeah, Green Giant, engages in real estate development. Donald's writing it there.
Which is like the last thing you'd want to buy, like Chinese real estate companies right now.
Yeah. I mean, even Brendan put that in the chat as well. So, all right, where's Tony? There he is. Oh, he's got that sick shirt on. I remember that one with only 20 seconds to go here. Tony now sponsored by Coca-Cola. So, I mean, that's the kind of impact that Tony has on the show right now. With only 10 seconds left, here we go. We're getting ready to rock and roll. I feel like Tony's been hitting the gym as well. This guy's looking. Who is this guy right now? Tony
in
making
2-1
moves right now. Wow, LT Gray. Look at those arms, man. What is going on with this guy now? Wow, everybody around here. Prad, Tony, Sharif. I mean, they're getting a lot of huge impact on that right there, man. Wow, Tony the Tiger. Thanks for ringing that bell. What a fun day it was. As Tilray just taking out day's high as we speak right now. Looking at $4, man. This is going to be crazy tonight, I feel like, Brendo, into tomorrow. You can already start writing that watch list tomorrow, I feel
Tilray will be one.
Tilray number one. No, Tesla number one, because it always is.
And weed stocks.
Tesla, Twitter, weed stocks, I feel like, is going to be on the watch list. But that should not stop you from gathering our watch list. And tomorrow is Trade Ideas Day, as we have an amazing offer promotion on that, and Michael Noss will be in the building to take all your trade idea questions and just to show us the platform, explain it to us all. You'll miss that, Neil, but you'll be able to watch it, obviously, as we're going to be filming all that. There goes Tilray right now, taking out $4 as this name just continues to motor. All right, Brendo, in what was a pretty decent day, considering we had some ups, we had some downs, didn't end on a great note, but where exactly did we finish up?
Still the red, unfortunately, guys, for all three U.S. markets once again. Here we go, 101 for the S&P and the Dow. The NASDAQ 0.73, 1.5 here in Toronto. Crude ends up 1.36, was higher than that at one point, but still a positive day for oil and energy. Remember as well for Mr. Noss tomorrow, yes, he will be in the hot seat right next to me tomorrow. He's also going to bring, guys, his #1 trading setup that he relies on. So make sure you're here tomorrow. We're also going to, as Sean was mentioning, have a monstrous announcement for you as well with Mr. Noss.
Gave us his #2 setup.
Not only that, look, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. When Michael Noss comes through, like, he's funny, like we could just say Mr. Noss, Brendan said, I'm calling him Michael Noss. Like, okay, when Michael comes through, you know, I'm going to make sure, this is the thing, you know, he's with us here. Okay, so when Trade Ideas is around, we have a direct access to like their best guy building. Prad shows it to you all the time. Like my scanner right here says, look at it, look what it says. For Sean, that's what it's called right there, right? So if we have somebody, oh no, you don't get to see what it is yet. You don't get to see what it is yet. But there's some awesome things happening. We're going to go, that was just a tease. We're just going to show you everything tomorrow. There's Tilray, did break through 4.
He's here all day.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's here all day anyway.
He's here all day.
He'd be silly to leave. So hopefully Michael Noss will be, well, not hopefully, he will be here tomorrow at 8:30. So again, thanks to everybody today, man. It was such a great show. We did get those likes, Neil, I think. We did. We got 1.7K.
And I'm not here tomorrow, so it'll be a fantastic show. I know Arun's going to do a great job.
Yes,
and Lucas in the afternoon as well. And Sean said something this morning, and he said, sometimes you just have to have the juice to hang on to the trade. And I was like, ooh. So hopefully I don't curse on this one. Sip the juice. I got enough to go around, and the throwing takes place uptown. I grew up on the sidewalk while I learned street talk, then learned to hawk New York, go from Queens to Queens, down to Brooklyn. Money in Manhattan had never been tooken. Go uptown in the Bronx to boogie down. Try to keep my juice back up, prop back up. Suckers get smacked up, don't doubt the clout. You know what I'm about. Knocking players off, knocking players out, shaking them up, raking them up, breaking them up. Waking them up, standing on shaky ground, too close to the edge. Let's see if I know the ledge.
There we go. Now, dude, good job. Good job on that one. That was a tough one.
That was a tough one.
When you come at the king.
I was planning something different. So off the top of my head, I'm like, I need to actually check the lyrics before I do that one. But that's Rakim, hands down, the greatest MC that in my money. My number one is Rakim. He's number one. I got M in the top 5, but I've always been a Rakim guy. He's the best.
Yeah, wake him up. That's a good one. Yeah, we definitely like that Rakim beat there. So, yeah, you'll be sadly missed tomorrow, but you'll be here in spirit and then back on Monday. Monday's Thanksgiving. I want to say happy Thanksgiving, everybody, if you're not there tomorrow
you know what?
in Canada.
And I should say this, too, because I am taking Thanksgiving off as well, so I won't see you guys till Tuesday.
What?
I am. Arun's going to be in there. I forgot to mention this. I'm also taking Monday off. Well, so my wife, there's a fair going on. Like my daughter loves fall fairs.
Right.
And a lot of times, when it's a U.S. or Canadian holiday, I come into work and I don't get to go out with them. So we're going to do a fall fair so I'm taking it off, obviously, on Monday. I forgot to say
I actually knew that. It was just overreacting.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, you didn't just, you know what? And the funny thing is, you were complaining about breaking your pen the other day. He's like, my pen got broken, and now you're throwing your own pen, dude.
No, I broke the pen. I just broke the little clip, the thing that, the clip on the pen. But it's all good. Yeah, okay, so no more Neil for 2 days. Oh, well, that's good. You gave everyone a nice lasting memory, so that was real nice on that one.
I'm not happy with that one. I love Rakim. I shouldn't have messed it up.
Oh, no, that's okay. You can do another one. You can do another Rakim at some point. That's good, man. Yeah, we are going to miss Neil, but we will enjoy having Arun here. We'll enjoy having everybody here. Maybe I'll even throw Tony the Tiger beside me at some point there. So we'll see if that can get thrown down.
Did we do Tony this week?
No, we did not do Tuesdays with Tony. Unfortunately, Tony was busy on Tuesday, and I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to upset everybody. Right. But now that we're mentioning that, the new and improved Tony. Wow, what the hell? I feel like I just saw the guy a couple of days ago.
He has dropped a few. I think he maybe.
I don't know if he's dropped. This
he looks great.
I'm going to talk to him after because he's always wearing that baggy stuff there. So that's why I feel like, why are we delaying this? Fahad's not here saying anything to my ear.
My bad.
Let's get going. All right. But it was wrap day. It was wrap day, and then we did your little goodbye, temporary goodbye. All right. It's 4:06, guys.
This may be a record.
I think yesterday I pushed
407
it.
407 yesterday.
Yesterday, 407. Okay, so let's wrap it up because the record has to be the Fahad day. So we'll wrap it up. 407's the day. Thanks to everybody. Katrine, Justin, Prad, Sharif, Mark, Neil for that. Everybody. Anybody I forgot. The midday guys. I don't think I forgot them. Let's wrap this up. Check us tomorrow. It's Trade Ideas Day. Monster promo. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:30. Check us then. Ciao.